for Greatness podcast.
Guys, welcome to the Hunt for Greatness podcast. I'm your host, Lex Hunt, and I got my man Billy Raim on here. Yeah, you might have to do a little adjusting on that sucker right there, dude.
Teeter-tottering.
Yeah, you know, you've been around this stuff before. You kind of know what you're doing.
I was thinking of that the other day.
Let's see what he's about to do here, guys.
Nothing. I have the same one, and I had to fight with it to go a little bit back, but yours has the block right here, so it's not going to...
Oh, so you could scoot up to the table a little more.
Yeah, and not have, like, the stand
in the way. But hey, look, there's a little, if you want to unscrew that clamp and move that fucker to that side. Yeah. And, yeah, let's try that.
And then pull the wrong thing. Just talking about I know what I'm doing, and then I fucking...
My man was just schooling me on lights, guys, because I have no clue. Like, I'm the biggest amateur ever when it comes to lights and stuff. And I met Billy doing stand-up comedy, so that's how we met. And I heard his set one night at, he's fixing this mic, so I'll just give y'all a background how we met. So I heard his set one night at Brewer's Kettle. Brewer's Kettle. You did a set at Brewer's Kettle. Me and my old lady were there. And she was like, man, I really think that guy's fucking funny. I was like, yeah, he is very funny. Because you were telling stories about the Trucker Fucker
420?
Yeah, and you told some, your shit about your kids is absolutely hilarious. And we relate to it so much because of our two kids. But welcome to the podcast. I was just talking, man, while you were...
No, I appreciate it, man. I pretty much invited myself. Like, I really did. Like, I
love it when people ask me to come on, dude.
Well, I've been watching him, and I was just like, yo, he knows how to carry on a conversation. That'd be fun as hell.
I love it.
I was like, and then I watched those Jacks and Ellies.
Yeah, they're great.
I saw.
They're great.
And I was just like, yeah, he knows how to carry on a conversation. If you can carry on a good conversation with Jack, like,
Jack
I
is
love
so
Jack.
sweet.
I love him.
So
he is
sweet.
one of my favorite human beings of all time.
He's a different fellow, though.
I get so involved in my conversations with him, especially about music and nerd comic book shit. Like, I'll zone out and not even remember why I'm at where I'm at talking to him. Like,
how long you known Jack for? He's talking about Jack Nelson, everybody. Yeah. Like 3 or 4 episodes ago, we had him on. Sweet, just a sweet guy.
Oh man,
biggest heart.
Best. He is the best. I met him. I moved back here in 2014, and he was just one of the comics there. I think he had just started out, or he was like a year or two into it. And I was just like, who is this little Leonardo DiCaprio looking?
He kind of does.
He does. And when he was younger, it was more so.
Really?
Because he was all clean shaven. He had like the little swoop haircut.
Yeah.
And you could tell like comedy really kind of helped him find who he was as a person. And then now he's
crazy.
Just blossomed into this beautiful, multicolored flower of
and he's so comfortable with who he is.
Yeah. That's why I'm just saying, man, he's the nicest guy. But if you can carry on a conversation with him and you both stay engaged, like that's how you know you can talk to somebody.
Oh, he's great.
You know?
Yeah, he's
actually a person to talk to, but he'll get you involved in the conversation. So
yeah,
that's
yeah.
what I meant.
And he honestly would. I know he's had podcasts before and stuff, but he would be great to host a show. Mm-hmm. Like, because he can really he knows a little bit about a lot of stuff, and then he knows a lot about a little bit of stuff too, like the old cartoons, old comics, action figures. He's really into it.
I feel like I'm talking to another 42-year-old when we're talking about action figures and
like
old
he knows
cartoons. He knows.
And he's only, I think, like 27 or
27, 28.
He's young, dude.
Yeah. When I met him, he was 21. No.
Really?
I don't even think... because I remember his 21st birthday. I think it was his, or was that Cameron Smith's?
Oh, he's something else.
I was drinking then, too, so...
Cameron Smith's only like 24, I believe.
Okay, then it was Cameron.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. So it was a few years ago. Jack, so you said something interesting that I thought was interesting, that Jack kind of found himself, you think, like by doing comedy.
He's one of those, you know how you meet people and you think about how they were as a person when you met them. And he's one of those people that I can sincerely say with all my heart, like I remember where he was. He's always been cool. You know, he's always been a good guy. He was a little soft-spoken then until you put a mic in his hand and he was...
Yeah.
You know, like his writing has gotten amazing, but it's always been good.
Right.
But he's always one of those, he'd be quiet, he'd talk to you so nice, he'd walk up on stage, you're just like, I'll suck a 20 dicks!
Yeah.
And like, he's just himself, and he always has been. But how proud I am of him on how he's developed as a young man. You know, I'm old as fuck. How old are you?
31.
You're 31?
Yeah,
oh my
yeah.
God, you're a baby too. But
How old are you?
I'm 42.
Okay.
I just turned 42.
That's only 11 years older than me, dude.
That's
Really
fucking
10
old,
because you
man.
just turned 42. So that ain't shit.
Yeah.
That's 10 years, bro.
Yeah, that's true.
That ain't shit, dude.
see, I'm
Think
so
about
old.
how much a 10-year-old knows. Fucking barely anything.
Barely anything.
Barely
I
knows
got
how to
one.
talk.
I got
Yeah,
one.
barely knows how to speak
He
English.
does everything, dude.
So like we're pretty much the same, dude.
No,
Like, how
yeah.
much more smarter do you think I can get in 10 years? Not that fucking much.
It depends
So you're
what
just
you have
as
to
dumb
go
as me,
through.
probably, dude. You're right. It depends on your
depends-
experiences in life. Yeah.
Like, I'm 10 times smarter than I was at 31.
Really?
I'm a million. Oh, my God.
Oh, man,
Oh, my
that's
God.
just
I was
crazy.
the dumbest. You ask anybody who knows me, at just not even 10 years ago, 2014, when I moved out to
Wow.
town, ask anybody. Be like, hey, Billy told me to ask you how he was in
10 years ago.
2014.
Damn.
Just 2014.
So
And
what
they'll be
happened? Like, just your life experiences?
Just life experience, man. Just, you know, like, I stopped drinking. Completely changed my outlook, which that changed my outlook on everything. You know, it does.
That's crazy,
When you get
right?
sober, yeah.
Yeah.
And then, like, met my wife, then had a kid, and that still blows my mind. So it's like watching somebody. See, I know how much I changed, and I know the drastic measures it took for that to happen. Jack, I'm sure he's had some traumatic things in the past since 2014 when I met him, but he's the same kind-hearted individual, but he is just this. He's a huge fish in whatever pond he's in.
He really
Type
is.
mentality, and it's naturally like he doesn't try to do it. He doesn't show off. He doesn't brag. You know,
No,
kinda
he doesn't.
floats in between
Real humble.
everything. Yeah,
Yeah.
like he's just. But how much he has grown as a person, like it's amazing to me. Like it's a good thing to see somebody who's that nice be able to keep that sincerity, but also find themselves and like he can take it on a blue scale from like dirty to clean. He can go. Well, he's more on a dirty side. But he could take it clean, but his dirty is like, it's fucking filthy, but it makes you think. And you're like, oh, that's not as gross as I originally thought it was. 'Cause
Yeah.
that's so true.
Yeah.
You know? Like, he's that kind of, like, big personality to where he can be offensive. And it's really not that offensive.
You see Dave Chappelle's new special yet?
Yeah, I loved it.
Oh my God! Speaking of offensive, I think comedy, for the most part, kind of should be offensive. Like it should make whenever somebody offends me, this is how I look at it. If somebody offends me, which I don't remember the last time, I was offended whenever somebody was like talking to me like I was below them when I was doing some work at their house. That offended me. It more pissed me off, but it just offended me that somebody was talking down to me and I was doing a job that they probably would never do.
Right.
So something like that. That's the only thing I can really
That would
think
offend
of.
me, yeah.
That's the only thing I can really think of. But I feel like when somebody offends me, I might need to take a look at why I'm offended. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe what they're saying is offensive, but maybe also there's something in me that, like,
Yeah.
why do I take it so personally? So you love Chappelle's specials?
I loved it. Yeah, So here's my thing. Like he is to me one of the greatest.
Yeah, he's the GOAT to me. I fucking love
one of the
Chappelle.
greatest. He has proven time and time again that he is the real deal. Like he is the bar. You know, these days, these times. I really like the new special. I prefer. So this is the way, kind of like how I feel about comedy in general. I prefer some of his earlier material, but the way he's developed as a comic is like no other. He can go on stage and he can be whatever, offensive, not offensive. It depends how you take it, you know. And he makes these jokes around these amazing serious issues. He wasn't used to not be like that. It was all weed jokes and
projects and
potty humor.
Yeah, drug dealing.
Yeah, you know. And how he's developed, that's how comedy should be. That's how you should develop on a journey for it. I love the special. I wasn't offended, and I can see why somebody would be offended, but I think you're a fucking idiot for being offended.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
No, I can see why somebody would be offended, but maybe...
Can I smoke my vape?
Absolutely. I got you a water right there, whatever you want to do.
You're so nice.
Dude, so I can see also why somebody would be offended, but it's kind of like... you know who Dave Chappelle is. You know what type of material he puts out. I think most of the people who were offended didn't even listen to the special. And if they did, they probably didn't watch it from start to finish.
They watched one little TikTok excerpt.
You can't do that with a Dave. You have to, because he comes back time and time again.
Callback king.
Punchline. Callback, I guess that's what that's called.
Yeah, like he'll bring back something and make it worse or better.
God.
From the beginning of the show, in the middle of the show, and then completely flip it around to be shitty again at the end, or vice versa. Like, he's the king of that.
Yes. So I just don't think that you can watch a clip of really any comedian. Like, don't take anything I say out of this podcast and be like, oh, this is it. You know what I mean? Like, it's taking shit out of context for the most part, most of the time. Now, I'm a fucking idiot. I say shit that I don't mean all the time. You know what I mean? So, but I think Dave Chappelle's comedy specials are so well thought out, and the points that he makes are very hard to argue with. Like, there's not much you can do to argue with some of his points that are like, especially like civil rights and shit like that.
Oh yeah.
And he's also joking about that. Like Martin Luther King and glory holes. That was one of my.
God.
That was one of my favorite. A mouth is a mouth.
I was listening to it and I was playing Xbox, and I as soon as I heard that, I had to stop it and be like, "Are you serious?"
Eminem of the BET Awards, bro.
Yeah.
Come on, dude. Those bits on there, I'm just like, bro. He's making fun of everybody. Nobody's safe, and that's how South Park has been the whole time.
That's how.
And I love that. Nobody's safe.
I hate nobody's safe, man. It's so hit and miss. Like South Park, if you're gonna bitch about what Chappelle said, South Park's a perfect example. How long has that show been on the air? 27.
A long time, and there's a new show every week.
Yeah.
7 days.
I was watching that documentary. They
I haven't seen it.
Finish that show 20 minutes before it airs sometimes.
Wow.
Like, it was insane.
I gotta watch it. Is it on HBO?
I think so. Or
HBO's the king right now, bro, of putting out shit. I honestly, I didn't think Netflix would put out a Chappelle special after Sticks and Stones. You saw Sticks and Stones?
Yeah.
Amazing special, but also could be considered a little on the offensive side.
I mean, it depends.
With society the way it is today, Billy, you got to think about how soft these motherfuckers are, dude.
It's more of like it's. You have to think: is it more of them being soft, or them being the one that creates a wave?
Like
notoriety is everything.
You're saying to get the attention.
Yeah, to get the attention for it.
So it's like attention craving.
I think a lot of it is
behavior.
I think a lot of it is. Think about the things that have been offensive to Santa Claus. They wanted to not have an old white man Santa Claus.
Wow.
Anymore. Something that's been there for a million years that's never had any racially or been a racist thing. It's always been for every children of everything. You got to be good. It's never had this thing, but the image of it, they wanted to make it a unisex Santa Claus.
What the fuck?
They wanted to have a Saturday Night Live Pat Santa Claus, which now that I think about it in that way, I'm for it. But I would love to have Pat. Just take away Santa Claus and have Pat. That would be, oh my God. I think I'm going to do that in my home now. So forget Santa Claus. That's a perfect example of what I want to do. But it's
outrage culture.
Trouble when it comes to this thing. So you were just saying about people being offended and what they choose to be offended, and the way he's always been. You said Chappelle's always been that way.
Well, I guess.
Yes, but he's always been that kind of honest comic. His material's got more serious over the years, which it should, because you're right. He makes valid points, and I don't disagree with anything he said. But it's more of a thing. You can't say because somebody has been, you got to know what you were getting into when you watched his special.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, you kind of have to know what you're getting into when you go, when I go back to the swamp where I grew up and see my Uncle Martin that can't say, a sentence without the N-word being in it 6 times. It's wrong. It's stupid.
Know what to expect.
I know what to expect. It's not right.
Dude's never going to change.
He's never going to change. But it's one of those things that's not right, and I can disassociate myself with it, but I'm not going to go up there and be like, hey, Aunt Edna, you got to take that motherfucker out. Go feed him to the alligators. You can't. No, you can't. It's just disassociate yourself. If enough people do that, and that whole cancel culture thing, you don't have to fucking cancel and promote canceling shit. Just don't buy the shit.
Yeah. Look. Here's the thing for me. I just had a guy running for city council come on, and he's a Venezuelan dude, He's a Venezuelan immigrant. Came here when he was 23, right? And he's a multimillionaire. He owns 3 businesses, and he's running for city council. And he went to, I think he said New Hanover County High School. He went to one of the big high schools. I'm pretty sure it's New Hanover County. And spoke to the Republican, what's the club? Some Republican club. Young Republican club or something at the high school. Yeah. And he said there was, some kids that were Democrats there. And they were trying to, make points about things to do with law enforcement or guns or, certain left views that some of the left has. And he was he was not arguing with them, but, trying to give them another perspective. And they agreed to disagree. And these kids are 15, 16, 17 years old. And they all shook hands at the end, took a picture. And I'm like, the fact that you said your point of view and they said their point of view, that what those point of views are really don't matter. The fact that you shook these kids' hands at the end and you agreed to disagree, and some of them may go back and, hey, maybe I need to look at the other side of this. Yeah. That, to me, is so valuable because people act like that's the hardest thing in the world to do.
And even if you don't, say I need to look at the other side of the thing, even if you walk out of there and you're fuck that guy. Yeah. That dumb piece of ignorant shit. It doesn't matter, but you don't, as long as you're saying that to yourself. Yeah. When you leave, and you can feel that way. But if you're respectful.
Absolutely.
Respect is a huge thing, man. I think that's a Southern thing that we've forgotten a lot. Chivalry. Just being a gentleman, being a good human being, thoughtful.
Well, there was a thing called Southern hospitality.
And it's a true thing, man. I mean, my dad's family's from Iowa, and they still believe in that. They love coming to the South because it's oh, man, everybody's so nice.
I mean, you would think Iowa would kind of be the same way, though.
It's a different kind of redneck.
Is it?
Yeah.
I mean, but you would think they would kind of be that brotherly love, pat you on the back, help you push your car down the road. Small town shit. You know what I mean?
They would, but it's also the corn-fed white boy attitude.
Ah, okay.
A lot of Iowa has no diversity.
Oh, okay.
So it's a different kind of hospitality.
There's a lot of value in my kids and me growing up having so many people who don't look like you around you all the time. Mm-hmm. I don't know, man. There's so much value in that. Knowing that you don't look like me and I don't look like you. And I don't even think kids really pay that much attention to it.
No.
I don't know. Maybe they do, but
I don't remember ever paying attention to it, but I was also me and my mom were the only Caucasian people in the school because I went to the school my mom taught at.
Oh, okay.
So from preschool.
Where at? Where?
Jackson, North Carolina.
Jackson? Mm-hmm. Where the fuck is that, Billy?
Northampton County.
I've never heard of that.
You know where Halifax County is?
Halifax County, yeah.
It's I think it's west of there.
Wow. How have I I guess we got 100 counties.
It's between Murfreesboro and Roanoke Rapids.
So how do you say that? What'd you say, the borough?
Murfreesboro.
But it's Murfrees, isn't it?
Is it?
Isn't there
Murphy's.
Two? Is it?
Murphy's.
Because every time I ride past that, because we go.
Is it Murfrees?
I think it's Murfreesboro. Because me and my boy always be clowning about that shit.
Hey Siri, in North Carolina, is it Murfreesboro or Murfreesboro?
We got to figure this out. I think there's another R in it, dude.
Only thing it came up was strange clown sightings rattle North Carolinians.
You gotta see what Billy's been Googling. That's what Siri thought you were talking about. I think it's Murfreesboro.
That's what it came up with. It was the
strange clown sightings rattle North Carolinians. And it's got a creepy ass clown, guys. Look at that shit.
No, that's
Is that recent?
No.
That's got to be years ago.
2016.
Dude, because remember when the clowns... Do you remember that?
Yeah.
The clown epidemic,
I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, dude.
I thought it was absolutely hilarious, and I'll never not... I don't give a shit how many kids got scared. I don't give a shit.
It's good for you to get scared, you little fucker.
It's good for you to get scared. Man, I remember getting the shit scared out of me by my cousins when I was a kid, and I'm so happy for it.
Yeah, made you a fucking man, dude.
Yeah, it did. These little kids, this whole everybody gets a trophy mentality. can go eat a bucket of dicks.
I didn't get a trophy like
I didn't get
a lot of the time.
I
dude.
never won. Growing
Really?
up. No, I was horrible at sports, but I loved to play. I remember going to this track and field event when I was 14 years old, and I ran, and my coach, his name was Coach Nelson. Now I realize that he was just fucking too drunk to no talent. But he was like, man, you need to go running this thing in Rocky Mount. And I was like, I'm going to do it. He goes, you're going to win everything. And I went there, and I was so pumped. I got this new starter athletic gear and everything.
Oh,
I got
sweet.
these fucking new running shoes, Reeboks, I think they were. And I sit down, and I'm like looking around, and it's 6'2", large African-American dudes that have professional running gear and managers with them.
How tall are you?
I'm like
Just for the
5'8",
Just for the
5'7" and a
podcast, we're
quarter.
about the same height, about 5'8".
I'm 5'7" and a
Yeah,
quarter,
yeah.
but it's just easier to say 5'8".
Yeah.
I'm definitely not going to say 5'7".
Yeah. You gotta say 5'8".
But dude, I was just like, I can do this. And I sat down. I didn't even hear the gun go off. And these motherfuckers are all the way up at the end of the thing. And I'm running as fast as I can. And it's like I'm not even moving.
Oh my god.
That's how bad at athletic I was when I was a kid. That's why I started like playing instruments and stuff.
And you didn't get a trophy when you lost that race. You
They
didn't.
didn't, man, I remember, I don't know if this is true or not. I don't, but this is how I remember it. I got so mad, and then my mom was embarrassed for me. And my mom's one of those moms that she'll fucking Karen out. Like,
Yeah.
And she's
Yeah.
so sweet and so nice, but don't mess with her only child. Like, don't mess with her little baby. And I remember I was so embarrassed, and I was crying, and my coach wouldn't even talk to me because he was like telling people about me. And man, he had to look like a dumbass because I couldn't run. I was just a little pudgy ginger kid. And I remember my mom, we got in her little Buick LeSabre, and she couldn't find her way out, and she was mad too. So she just drove on the track as they were racing.
Oh my
And
god.
it turns out to
That coach never forgot that.
that's how I remember it. I don't know if that's how it
gangster
happened.
shit
I
right
need to
there,
ask
dude.
Mom that. She'll
That's
say
some gangster ass shit.
Isn't it funny how all the shit, like I remember so much shit that my parents did when I was
But
little.
they'll deny
It
it.
was all innocent and stuff, but it was just dumb. They'll deny it.
They'll
That
deny
never
it.
happened.
Oh, I was at the dinner table eating dinner with my parents. I think my little brother was there, and my old lady was there. And I was saying something about them spanking me with a belt, and they were like, "Nah."
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh yeah, you did. I'm not making this up."
Mm-hmm.
And then they kept saying no. I was like, "I'm gonna let it go, cause I'm glad I deserved it." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I just basically was like, I'm gonna let it go because they're obviously not gonna come clean.
Mm-hmm.
Shouts to mom and dad, y'all some liars. Shouts to y'all motherfuckers. They're gonna watch this too. But yeah, so you know, I'm not there with my kids yet, but I can definitely see me doing the same thing.
Would you spank your kids? This is something I've been battling.
I think so, dude, because my 4.5-year-old, he's really fucking like lately. Like I'm not gonna spank him as of right now.
Right.
But I'm at the point where I'm like, if you don't do what you're supposed to do, and if you don't sit in timeout like I'm telling you to do, I'm gonna have to spank you. So like I'm at the point where I'm threatening that. So hopefully I don't have to do that. And dude, I don't.
Do you
Bro,
mind?
the last thing I want to do is hit my kid.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You mind me asking what mom's stance is on that? 'Cause I'll say like
Same as mine. She doesn't want to do it,
See?
but like she doesn't want to do it. You know what I mean? But I think it's like when he directs some shit towards her,
yeah.
I'm like, oh, you about to get.
Oh, yeah, you don't
I'm like, you about to
disrespect
get
mom.
fucked up, dude.
Yeah.
Like
See?
I'll wait and see what she's saying, and then I'm like, all right, now you go sit in timeout because you don't talk to her that way.
Yeah.
I try to explain everything. Like I try to, and he's like, psh, 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 psh,
Yeah, they're not hearing
not
anything
listening
we
to
say.
shit. But like I feel like I owe you an explanation. So I want to explain to you why you are sitting here. Actually, I want you to explain to me why you're sitting here first.
Right.
That's really what I'm trying to do first. Like, can you explain to me why you're sitting in timeout, why you've been here for 10 minutes or whatever? Because I've been leaving him in there way longer because it's like it doesn't bother him for a little bit now.
Yeah, you gotta do 30, 45.
Dude, used to like from the jump, he was like hated it, but like now it takes a minute.
Now
So,
he's like, I do 10 minutes.
yeah, I
standing on my head,
I gotta wait him out, dude. I gotta wait him out. But yeah, no, I don't know, man. I really don't know what the future holds for that. But my kids, I'm 100% sure both of them. One of them's 1.5 too, and I'm 100% sure both of them could do something that would make me spank them at some point. But I don't know. How do you feel about it?
I don't know, man. Like
Did you get spanked? Does it?
I did a couple times.
Yeah.
Like, I think I got spanked like 4 times, and my dad backhanded me in the car and accidentally made my nose bleed.
Yeah.
And he felt horrible, but he wasn't. He was playing tough.
Yeah.
Like, I could tell when he did it, and my mom was like, oh, my God, what did you have for? And he's like, he deserved it. And I did. I was mocking him in front of his friends. Like, he had business partners in town.
Them's fighting words.
And I was sitting
boy.
up in the it wasn't the bucket seats then, like in every car now. Like, it was the seat going straight. Yeah, it was the bench seat.
Yeah.
And my dad was saying stuff, and I was like, yeah. We were like, well, we're going to go over here. I'm like, we're going to go over here. Like, it was like that for 10 minutes. And he was just like, whoop, and I just felt the blood. And I started screaming, like, you beat me. Mom's like, you beat him. He's like, yeah.
Yeah, I beat him.
Yeah,
I fucking
I
did.
didn't mean to do that. Like, I didn't.
Yeah.
That's not what I meant to do.
Yeah.
But he's not doing what he was doing anymore. And I never did it again. Like, see the thing. My lady does not believe it. Nope, you don't do it no matter what.
Okay.
You don't.
And that's okay that she is thinking that way.
I'm complete opposite. I don't want to. I'm like you.
No parent really wants to beat their kid unless you're a
Right.
fucked up, asshole,
Yeah.
narcissistic piece of shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
No parent wants to spank their kid.
Now, I'll scare the shit out of my kid.
I've scared the shit out of mine. How do you scare yours? Because I might
bald
employ
face,
your
lie
tactics.
to him, dude. I'll ball like my stepsons. I got one
It's the best
13-year-old.
podcast ever.
I have one 13-year-old stepson, and I have 11-year-old that just turned 11 last week. And they're 2 totally different kids.
2 boys.
2 boys.
Okay.
So that was my introduction to parenthood before my daughter was even born.
So you have a daughter that's young.
Yes, she's 2.5. No, just turned 2 in July.
Okay.
So
okay.
she's 2, basically.
She's 47 months.
She's 47. 47 months, 2 weeks, and 16 lovable hours.
So your 2 boys are polar opposite.
They're polar opposite, man. Like, I'm not going to say their names because they're kids, but the 11-year-old is like his mom, and the 13-year-old is like their dad. Now, neither one of them are bad people, but they're 2 totally different people. So, like, the 11-year-old, he does shit like he won't shower for 3 days and said he did.
Shit.
And he's like he's tall as me, and he's 11. So now he's got that
wow.
like puberty body odor starting to come out, and getting him to wear deodorant is it's just
What's
like,
up with that?
I
I was
don't
never
understand.
like that as a kid.
Me either. I
Like,
was
last
all
thing I
about-
want to do is for you to tell me I stink.
Exactly.
Last thing I want you to do.
That's what I said. But then I walked on his school bus, or the 13-year-old's school bus 2 years ago when he was going to Eaton Elementary, and that whole bus was full of stinky kids.
Ugh.
They were all stinky.
Ugh.
Every single one of them.
disgusting.
I don't get it, man.
It's disgusting.
Now, I'm not ever going to spank them. For one, because I don't want to get Mendendez one day. I never going to spank them. But I have, like, for example, the 13-year-old, I can't even remember what it was. Oh, my God. I know I got in big trouble for it. The
13-year-old's more like the mom.
More like the dad.
More like the dad, and the 11-year-old's more like the mom.
Right.
Okay.
So excuse me. The oldest one, he's more challenging, but he's also more quiet, more reserved. All he wants to do is play video games. Don't bother him. He doesn't like going out in public in crowds, but nicest, sweetest kid.
Yeah.
And when he wants to be respectful, he knows how to be respectful. It's just whether he wants to or not. And I have already developed this thing to where he respects me as a parental figure, but he also knows I'm a big fucking kid that loves farts. Like, he knows that I'll play video games with him, that I'll laugh if he farts. I don't even care if it's at the dinner table, but my parents better not be there.
Yeah.
My mom better not be
Yeah.
there. Like, if it's just us guys, whatever, man.
Yeah.
But, when he disrespects his mom, I'm like, no. Like, I've yelled at him before. The only time I've really yelled at him was when he disrespected his mom. And I was just telling him how he's not going to do that. And I didn't wait for him to give an explanation.
Well, there's not really one for that.
No, you just
for
don't do it.
disrespecting your mom.
Yeah, you just don't do it. Like, I don't care. Like, I'm sure some people have reasons to, Like, he doesn't. His mom's great.
Yeah.
And an 11-year-old, he's the one he's the sensitive one. He's absolutely sweet. He loves his baby sister. He loves being a big brother. He loves to, like, learn things. Like, he said he was going to learn how to solve a Rubik's Cube, and he was going to get 40 seconds.
That's fast.
Within a week, he got down to a minute. Within like
Holy
a month,
shit.
he has it down to like 46 seconds.
Wow.
Is his best time.
That's insane.
Yeah. He just got an electric guitar for his birthday. Like he's nonstop watching YouTube videos.
I still can't get one side of a Rubik's
I can't
Cube.
either.
I can't even
usually
say
take the
Rubik's
stickers
Cube.
off.
Take the stickers off and put them
Yeah,
on.
I used to take the stickers off. I used to make my cousins.
That's
so
crazy.
bad.
He can do it in less than a minute.
Yeah, he's smart.
Holy
like they're both
shit.
brilliant kids, but they also know how to push buttons. And this, you're gonna find this as a teenager. This is where like my spank. I don't want to spank my kids, but is it fucked up? I want everybody else to spank theirs.
No,
Like,
it's
I
not.
want-
It's not fucked up.
Like I see how other neighborhood kids are, and my kids are so respectful to the neighbors. There's been a couple times where I'm like, he's gonna go say something. To
Like,
that
can I
dad.
spank your kid? Can
Yeah,
I spank?
can I
Do
get
you
the
mind?
shit out
Can
of
I
your kid?
just fucking take my belt off and just whip the shit out of him like Indiana Jones? Can I?
Man,
Do you mind? Do you
No, go
mind
ahead.
if I beat your kid? They probably want somebody to beat
I
their
mean,
kid.
as long as I don't see it, and as soon as we have it timed to where you stop and run when I walk in, and then
Yeah.
I look like the tough guy, you get away from my kid, kick the fuck out of him.
Yeah, that's fine. Go for it.
Yeah, and make sure he's doing something bad.
Yeah, sometimes that is the answer, guys. You know,
No, I would never spank. I don't know if I could spank my daughter. My
I think
point
your
is,
kids are too old to spank. You're gonna have to beat the shit out of them. It ain't gonna have. I think it's more like I'm gonna beat your ass, bro. Like this is like when you hit 13. Like
Yeah.
you're not a man, but if you start acting like a man, I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
take you out back, and I might get some boxing gloves, dude. That's what I might do, and I'll be an old ass man by the time my kids are. Well, I won't be that old. I'll be like 40. But I'm gonna be on that juice by then, bro. I'm gonna be fucking getting that TRT, boy. I'm gonna be on that juice. So if they want to fucking bow
say
up,
that.
we
You're
can
gonna
put
be-
some fucking gloves on.
you say that you're all proud. You're gonna be fat and lazy like the rest.
Oh, I don't want to be
You're
fat,
going
dude.
to,
I'm
man.
eating so bad right now, dude. I'm eating so bad, and I feel
have
terrible.
snorted a Big Mac today. Like I'm not eating.
Dude,
good.
I feel so bad when I eat terrible.
Oh,
But yeah,
yeah.
I don't know. Maybe like there's a way without whipping their ass that you can show them like, hey man, I'm the dominant, I'm the alpha
they
here.
know.
I know they know, but
Yeah.
like I'm just thinking of ways because I mean my kids are too little for me to do anything but spank them, and it wouldn't be like a spank. I'm not trying to beat you.
Yeah.
But
I'm
when they
not gonna
get old
spank-
enough, I'm gonna beat you.
Well, they've asked me like before. They were like, "Would you ever spank us?" I'm like,
Oh,
no,
they scared. You done
I
got the
wouldn't.
fear of God in them
I was like, no, I would
motherfuckers.
never spank you. I would never spank you. I was like, but you're getting older, and you're probably going to want to fight me one day because that's what happens with stepdads. I was like, but I'm going to let you know when that day comes, you may beat me up,
Or you might get your ass whooped.
but I can promise you, sir, that we'll never fight again.
Yeah, yeah. You ain't never gonna want to go
You're
again.
never
bro.
going to want to go again.
Win, lose,
I
or
have
draw.
lost so many fights in my life. There's been times where I woke up with my ass whooped and had no idea.
Oh yeah, who
What
hit
happened?
me? How long I've been laying here?
Oh yeah,
same shit.
I used to go and play in bands in Jacksonville, North Carolina, and I would get so high and drunk that I would go and smack the biggest Marine I could find in the face,
Oh,
and then
wow.
just take it.
Oh wow.
Dude, it was like a messed up fetish. I was crazy back in my early 20s, dude. I was nuts. Like I was absolutely.
What do you think?
bonkers.
What is that? Like something in your brain when you're like an adolescent?
Oh, I'm sure.
Because sometimes these little kids ain't nothing to fuck with, dude. Like these little kids are crazy.
Oh, I was
Like,
fucked
they'll
with
fucking
a lot.
kill you.
Well, I was the only child too, and my parents were kind of strict. You know, not like horribly strict. Like I could go out with my friends, you know, whatever. They never had like strict bedtime. But when it came to like content that I saw or the people I hung out with, until they knew them and knew their families, I couldn't hang out with them.
That's how my parents always tried to be my whole life, and I just kind of I got to a point where it's like, all right, well, fuck you. You know, it was like I just got to. I was super disrespectful. Like when I was in high school, like junior, senior, I was very fucking disrespectful to my parents and just wild, like real wild. So, you know, now I'm fucking 31 and I realize that, and I hope my kids don't act the same way, but I think
wanna
most
know?
kids kind of push the parents away at some point.
They're
and-
going to.
Yeah, they want to figure shit out for themselves.
They're going
you know?
to. Well, they-
so I'm just trying to enjoy it now. Like your daughter's 2.5,
Dude,
and all
she's
she
so
wants
cool.
is daddy.
She's so cool. She's not scared of shit, and that scares me.
She's a little gangster. That's how my little one is. My older one, he's like can puss out about some shit, but my
Yeah.
little one,
And it's cool. Like they'll end up not pussing out at some
Yeah.
point. But I like that's the thing with like with the boys, I wait till they're ready for certain stuff.
Yeah.
You know, but I also too, like, their dad, they're so lucky. Like they, our whole family gets along, like the whole extended family, even the boys' dad. Like we're all.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, we're all awesome. So there's a lot of things that I want them to experience with their dad and not their stepdad. Like they'll ask me something, I'll be like, you should go talk to your dad about that. And I'll shoot him a text.
Man,
like,
cool of you to be that way.
He asked me about this, if you want to bring it up. Like if I'm having a hard time, I was having a hard time with the oldest one. And I messaged him. I was like, what can I do right now? Like, what can I do? And they're like, exactly what you're doing. Don't let up. I'm like, okay, cool.
That's sick that you can talk to him. Like it's somebody you can talk to.
Yeah, and they know that too. We have both told them many a times. You know how many stepdads beat the fuck out of their kids? Like, you don't.
A lot.
There's so many bad situations. So we're lucky in that respect. But they asked me that, you never hit me with it. And I was like, I'll tell you, when you get older, like 16, they'll still put me in jail. But if two things ever happen, if you ever hit your mother or if you ever hit a woman, I'm beating the fuck out of you.
Yeah, just know that now.
Know that now.
There's your warning.
Yeah.
5 years
And I said
early.
it just like that because when I do cuss in front of them, like they know that don't ever cross that bridge again. Like I was like, I will beat the fuck out of you. Like no questions
What they look
asked.
like?
Oh, they were like,
Eyes got wide as backhoe tires.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Damn.
They would, man. But like we get along,
You
fantastic.
seem like a loving, caring guy.
I try to be.
Yeah, that's what you seem like.
I mean, what's not to family life is great.
Dude, your daughter's 2.5.
Yeah.
So cool, right?
Yeah.
She's like doing all kinds of shit, like
She's
all
doing-
kinds of new. I got an almost 2-year-old, and then the 4.5-year-old. So, but I just feel like every kid's so different.
They're
So
so
like I could talk to you about some shit my 4.5-year-old did, or my 1.5-year-old does,
Yeah.
when they were 2, or when he was 2, and it's so different.
It's so different.
It's just wild. Especially you got a girl. Girls could probably be
That's what
way
I
different than
wanted.
boys.
That's what I wanted.
That's so cool, man.
Like I wanted a daughter because I did not want a boy, and he turned out just like me.
Yeah.
And
that's
then-
what scares the shit out of me about mine.
But now I have a daughter that might turn out just like me because I'm already seeing it, and I'm just like, fuck, man. Like, how do I tell her that men are pieces of shit?
Yeah, coming from you.
When I joke about it on stage doing comedy, dude, but I hope if I could have one prayer answered in my life, is to be that my daughter is the happiest gay woman in the world. I'm not even playing.
That's great, dude.
I want her to. I'm talking about, like, I don't care if she's like 280, wife beater, buzz cut, earring going from her earring to a nose with like Caribbean. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, I want her to be the gayest thing in the world. Because I just feel, and this is so naive and small-minded of me, but I just feel, for some reason, even though I know it's not true, that heartbreak is way worse when you're getting your heart crushed in a straight relationship in a gay relationship.
Oh, that's definitely not true. But
I know.
but it sounds good.
It doesn't even sound good. But it calms my heart of anyone breaking my daughter's heart, because she'll just be like, oh, you don't want me? Look, I can lick anything at any time. I'm
Yeah,
good. I
yeah.
can get out there. I'll meet somebody else. But I also wish for her to be a fat hog.
And dudes are serial killers and rapists.
Yeah.
A lot of women aren't. You know what I'm saying?
When was the last time it was a woman at the top of a clock tower or a gay person?
Dude, how about Dave Chappelle's last bit?
What do you say?
You talking about them jumping off? What do you
No,
think?
I was talking about shooting people. From
Oh,
the clock
shooting
tower.
people?
Yeah,
Oh.
there's never been like a mass shooter that was a
God
woman or
damn,
gay.
there really hadn't, has
No.
there?
So get both of them together. You're gonna have the most non-lethal person.
And that probably has set you at ease as a father to know, like, oh, yeah, I mean,
She's gonna be tough, dude. Like, she's already.
and she got 2 brothers.
Oh yeah, but then, well, one of them, the oldest one, doesn't talk to her still.
Really?
Yeah,
Huh.
it's weird.
That is weird.
Yeah, like he'll pay attention to her now, but he won't directly talk to her. He'll talk to us about her, and if she needs something, she'll let Jacob know.
I wonder how I would be if I was him, if I was your oldest kid.
I just got.
You ever wonder that? Like how
it would be?
Yeah, if you were him.
Yeah.
Because I want to be like, that's kind of weird, but maybe it's not weird.
I mean, his parents got divorced, and I'm sure it was really hard on
Yeah.
him. And then, like, within 2 years,
right?
like, mom's having a baby.
Yeah.
You know,
Probably some resentments.
probably, but
Yeah.
I don't think it's like I hate your resentment.
No.
And I think he's over it now, but he's just so used to not. Plus, she screams and cries a lot, and he doesn't like that. Like, he
Some
doesn't
people,
like loud
women
noises.
and men, just don't get little kids. Like, just don't like. There's people that'll never have kids, and that's probably for the best. You know what I mean? And there's people that have kids. That's probably a fucking mistake.
Yeah.
I don't know. Some people like you know how you take your little girl somewhere, the little one. Oh, you got one girl anyway.
Right.
So you take your little girl out, and there's some people who will act like she doesn't exist. But there's some people who will, that's who they're going to talk to.
Get your hands off my daughter's face.
Right. Or they'll acknowledge her and be like, hey, how you doing? And then talk to you, or talk to you and then directly right after talk to her because, I don't know, man.
Or then there's just people, too, that are just kind of like, they see me and they're happy to see me. And then they see I have her with me, and they're like, "Oh, well, take it easy. See you later.
Yeah,
all right."
Yeah. There's people like maybe they don't know how to talk.
They don't know how to talk to kids.
Maybe
I've got one of my best friends in the world. She hates kids.
Really?
I don't think she hates kids. I think she really likes kids. She doesn't mind being around them, but she's not going to make it a point to put herself around them.
Yeah,
like she's not.
There's a lot of people like that. I think.
I used to be like that.
Yeah,
I know, but I was like, oh man, I'd be a good dad. I'd love to be a dad, and then I was like, I'm never going to be a dad.
Yeah.
I'm not. There's no way. Like, look at me. I'm destined to sit in my underwear and play Xbox 24/7.
And then you have a little girl.
Now I have a little girl, and that all got fucked.
That's crazy, dude.
My ideal life of doing nothing with myself. Now I have to be a good human being.
That's so cool, though.
I love
your
it.
shit got flipped upside down, bro.
Yeah, I love it.
It is kind of like I judge people. I just want to put that out there for everybody, you and everybody else. I judge people. So when somebody comes up, especially one of my friends, if one of my friends comes up and they start talking to me, or if I'm out here with my boys watching a UFC fight and my son walks out and starts talking to one of them and they don't talk back, I'm like, hey, talk back to my fucking son. Like, you're not going to sit and look right over his head. Like, I'll literally say that right in front of my kid.
Yeah.
Like, hey, he's talking to you, bro.
Yeah.
Like, hey, Maddox is talking to you.
Yeah.
Like, say something. Quit fucking disrespecting my kid.
Yeah.
I don't know. I hate to be that way, but
No.
I feel like you're literally disrespecting me.
It is what it is. It's disrespect.
Like, if you disrespect my kid or my family, I take it as straight up disrespect to me, and I can't help it. That's just, I mean, I know you probably feel the same way.
I 100% agree. And you know what even bothers me worse than that?
What?
When someone says something to my kid and they don't say anything back.
When your kid doesn't say anything back. Dude, I can't stand that. My
I have
kid
to do
did
my
that.
middle one all the time. I'm like, hey, Grandpa's talking to you.
Hey.
Or that person said hi to you. And then he'll go, hey.
Yeah, that's how my 4.5-year-old was this weekend. And we went to Delaware, and his family up there was talking to him. And he's like, he'll act kind of shy, but he's really not. And they were all kind of like, hey, we saw your YouTube fishing videos. Like, and I don't think that he really understood that they wanted him.
Yeah.
Like, so I was like, we get in the car after he does this whole thing. Like, one aunt's asking him, what does he want for Christmas? And he's not really answering.
Yeah.
So we get in the car, and I'm like, hey, man, I just want to tell you what just happened back there. So when somebody tells you they like you watching your YouTube channel, your YouTube fishing videos, you tell them thank you. And then you tell them a fishing story. You can tell them a real fishing story, or you can make one up, whatever you want, because you're in the captain's chair at this point. So he understood. I'm like, that means they want you to tell him a story. I was like, they want you to tell him. He likes to tell stories. So I'm trying to explain to him when somebody, they don't have to say that to him. Like, these people don't have to be like, hey, I saw your fishing video, and to a 4.5-year-old, they're complimenting you. So they want to have a conversation. That's what that means. When your aunt says, hey, what do you want for Christmas? She wants you to tell her something for her to buy you.
Yeah.
I was like, so
Don't
you need
fuck that up.
you fucked up this time, dude. You're getting fucking 0 from her.
That's the one that gives you the good shit.
She was wanting him to say anything, and she would have bought it. You know what I'm saying? That's what it was.
Bro.
So I was like, hey, next time somebody asks you, like, what are you being for Halloween? They want you to talk to them. What do you want for Christmas? I don't think he understood. And, like, he's so smart that I expect a lot out of him, one, because he's so fucking smart.
Right.
But also, I kind of expect him to know these things that are kind of learned, but we kind of take it for granted as being learned.
Expectations.
Yes, my expectations are high.
Yeah,
like,
dude.
probably too high for a
I have
4.5-year-old.
to get knocked down that peg all the time.
You feel the same way about?
When someone speaks to you, you speak back. So here's the double-edged sword on that between boys and girls. Like, if someone says something to my boys and they don't answer them and I know that they hear them, I'm going to be pissed.
Yeah.
Same thing. If my boys say something to somebody else, because that's a big thing for them, you know, you say something back. Like, I'll call them out just like you
That's
would.
respect.
Now, with my daughter, I was like that with her when she was starting to talk and wanting to socialize, but she'd be scared and want to hide, want me to pick her up, whatever. I'm like, say hi, whatever. And then my wife is like, she doesn't have to. I'm like, what is that? Like, no. Yeah, I'm not doing that. Same thing with my boys with yes ma'am, no ma'am, yes sir, no sir. Their parents, my wife and their dad, you don't have to say that to an adult. It's a sign of respect.
Yeah,
You have to
kinda
earn
how
respect.
I was raised, yeah.
Yeah, you know, and me, I was always raised, you say yes or no sir, yes ma'am, no ma'am,
Yeah.
no matter what, you know. And with my daughter, my wife was like, she doesn't have to. I'm like, what do you mean? That's gonna teach her some antisocial behavior. She goes, no, that's gonna show her as a woman she has the power to not communicate with people that she doesn't want to communicate with.
I mean, that makes sense.
It completely
I had a feeling you were
makes
kind of
sense.
going there
Yeah,
with it.
Like, I was like, holy shit. They're like, do you want your daughter to be able to wear a dress and know how to shoot a gun or carry a sword? And I'm like, yeah.
Fuck yeah.
You're like, you want a warrior princess? I'm like, yeah. She goes, well, don't ever fucking question me again about this stuff.
I mean, it's true. It's so true because they have however old your wife is, she has that many years of experience of being a woman, and we have zero.
Yeah, I don't,
So it's kinda
I don't
like-
know anything, man.
Yeah,
and
it's
she's a
kinda-
good, strong woman. You know, she's always provided for herself.
That's how your daughter's going to be, I'm
yeah.
sure.
Oh, thank God.
And
man.
she has you, so it's like.
Well, I'm like the.
but that's true. I didn't think about that because I have two boys.
it's
You know what I
deep,
mean?
man.
Like
That's-
as a boy, you want them to be respectful. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like that's a big. It's a reflection upon you.
Yeah.
You know.
You want them to be respectful, but you also want them to respect. I want people to respect my daughter's boundaries, just like I want my boys to respect other people's daughters' boundaries.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah.
Like I tell a joke about opening the door and making them watch me. That's like, that shit's real. I do that. Like wherever we go somewhere. Now my 11-year-old jumps in front and opens it
that's
for me. And if there's people there, and he fucked up over at Costco though, because he was holding the bathroom door and this line of senior citizens went in who got off of us. And he looked over at me, swooped his hair out of his face. He goes,
That's awesome.
Oh
So
my
it was a
God.
bunch of people going in there.
yeah, but like a line of senior citizens going to empty their piss bags or something. Like they were old and they were
Yeah.
like going in, and one of them was like
Slow.
touching them on the arm, and he was just like,
Aw.
"Don't touch me, man! You're walking into the
Yeah. You germy old elderly.
Jeremy,
fuck.
old fucking geriatric."
That's cool. So he saw you do it, and he was
Oh
like,
yeah,
"All right."
he's so respectful, man, and they both are, but they're different kids. You know, that was the thing. Like, I have a little bit of anger towards my oldest right now because I have such high expectations.
That's my issue with a 4.5-year-old. That's
Yeah.
how retarded I am.
See, and I have it with Tilly too. I'm not going to be like, Tilly, you need to go do your laundry and fold it.
Yeah.
But I expect a 13-year-old to do it.
Yeah.
I expect a 13-year-old not to wear the same socks for a week.
Yeah.
You know, brush your teeth. How fucking hard is it to brush your teeth?
It feels better.
It feels
People
better.
want to be around you
People
more.
wanna
I
be
wonder
around
if that's
you.
what it is. If he doesn't want the people to be close and around him, because he's the antisocial one, right?
Oh, that would be his mindset.
I'm just saying, like maybe it keeps people away from him. It keeps the conversation to a minimum.
yeah.
I don't know. I'm just speculating
Yeah.
here. I fucking don't know shit.
Well,
But
my middle just
it
had-
feels so much better when you brush your teeth.
It does.
And when you have clean clothes, and when you take a shower every day,
Yo, my
you feel
favorite thing
rejuvenated.
is to
you
brush
know?
my teeth, take a shower, and clean into a fresh linen bed. Oh, dude, it's so nice.
That's like when me and my old lady got together 5 years ago. She would not take a shower before she got in the bed. I'm like, well, you can do that in your nasty ass fucking bed you got, but over here in my bed, you're gonna have to take a shower first, bitch. Wash your butthole before you get in this fucking. I want my bed to be clean.
Right.
I don't want dirt and sand
Right.
and all your grime and whore filth in my bed.
See, the thing is I would definitely shower before I get in the bed. I always do, but I'll eat in the bed.
Oh, will you? See, I don't really go in.
Lady's not. No, she's
I don't
not.
even go in there, dude, unless I'm going to sleep. Honestly,
Yeah.
I'm barely ever in my bedroom.
See, that's how my wife is. Like she'll go to sleep around 9:30 or 10. She's asleep like that. There's no TV allowed in our room. We don't have one. There's no electronics, just a sound machine and the baby monitor.
Yeah, I got a sound machine, like white noise.
Yeah,
that's
with
what I
the
have
ocean
too. Yeah,
sound
that's what
too.
I have. Yeah.
We've been through like 5 of those because we have them, one in the boys' room, one in Tilly's room, one in our room, and we never turn them off. Like every single room has that.
That's how our kids are too. Well,
And
I don't want them like waking up because I'm in there carrying on being a dumbass.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right,
I need
right.
I think it helps them sleep better.
It does.
It helps me sleep better. Or we have a fan in my room, like a box fan. But in my 2 boys' rooms, they have white noise.
Yeah.
So I just figured if we're acting rowdy, they won't hear us.
Yeah.
Because one of them's a heavy sleeper and the other one's a light sleeper.
Yeah. And you mean like rowdy, like rowdy?
Yeah, we'll just be hooting and hollering and damn fucking around. Like,
see, we have. I'm so paranoid about like hooting and hollering and roughing around.
Yeah.
I'm so paranoid about sexy stuff when because the boys stay weak with us, weak with their dad.
oh, they're old enough to know what's going on.
Yeah, but man, I don't. It's just. I remember one time. I don't know if it happened, but I woke up in the middle of the night and I would look up.
Wait, you said you don't know if it happened?
I don't remember if this is. I don't know if that's what they were doing.
Gotcha.
But I remember seeing one mound in my parents' bed at my grandparents'.
Yeah.
And I heard like licking sounds. So it's like they were licking each other on the face.
about this?
Huh?
You have a bit about
No,
this?
it's actually
You need
the
to have
first
a
time I
bit
talked
about
it. This is the
Hear
first
licking
time.
sounds,
I hear
dude?
licking
What the
sounds.
fuck,
And
dude? Like ASMR, isn't that what that shit's called?
I guess.
Yeah,
I don't know. But
sounds, and
I
they get up
was
to the mic and they're like,
so offended. And I kept getting up and running away. Like I was under 10 years old.
if you want to offend Billy,
Like, he was talking about my parents doing it. I mean, now I know it's natural, but now they're
hilarious.
not going to do it anymore.
yeah.
I was telling my dad about
You're
after my
licking
vasectomy.
sounds.
I was just like, I don't even care about sex anymore. He was like, I was like 10 years ago for me, son. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, I don't even look at boobs anymore.
That's crazy.
I'm like, when do you get to an age where you don't? He was like, all I want to do is be with my best friend. That's your mom. And I'm like, that's so sweet, but so fucking
Depressing.
stupid. Depressing. Yeah. That's so depressing.
Because I remember, and when I get old like that, and I'll talk to my son and say something like that, and I'm going to say, because I remember when all I wanted to do was come all over your mom's face.
Oh,
what if I said that, dude? What if your dad said that to you?
I will totally say that.
Yeah,
when they're like 18 or 19.
We're comics, dude. We got to fuck with our kids.
Oh man, that is true too. Though I have to say story time whenever I'm kidding around, or the boys will believe it.
Oh, I've heard you say that before. Story time.
They will believe it. Like I told them. All right, so this is probably the most racist thing I've ever said. My boy was talking about his best friend at school and how he was Russian and how he has sort of a Russian accent, but his mom has a very big Russian accent but speaks American, he said. I had to correct him on that one. And then he said his dad hardly speaks any English. He talks all Russian. And he was talking about, he's like, well, he's my friend, but he started picking on me lately. I was like, you better let him pick on you. He was like, why? I was like, because, man, this Russian's got like 40 cousins that live with him.
And he's a bad motherfucker, guaranteed.
Yeah. I was like, he's got like
Guaranteed.
40 cousins that live with him wearing their turtleneck sweaters and gold chains. They're going to come out, Anthony, you'll fuck with him. And he took it seriously. Like, he was like, man, I wonder if the school knows he lives with 40 people.
Oh my god!
I'm like, dude, you got to know when I'm kidding, man. Yeah. Like, that's out there.
Those Russian people were tough.
Yeah, dude,
they're tough.
I dated a Russian girl when I was 19 years old. That was the first and only time I dated someone stronger than me. Wow. I'm not saying I haven't dated anybody that could whoop my ass, but somebody that worked out in order just to do it, like set out a point to whoop my ass.
It's got to be something in their bloodline,
it's gotta be.
In their genetics.
She was mean as shit.
Well, I mean, goddamn, the whole country's covered in snow, isn't it? I mean, that's probably the most racist thing.
She tried to waterboard me.
What?
I was drunk, passed out one night, and
I duffing you up. I can't even do a Russian accent.
I woke
like
up
Italian.
And she was like, I couldn't breathe. And I didn't know what was going on. And then like my drummer at the time ran in and pulled her off. And he was like, why are you waterboarding him? She was like, he ate the last of the, I don't know, it was like a Slim Jim or something.
Oh my God.
She was mad.
She was waterboarding you with vodka?
Waterboard. It might have been vodka. If that was the case, it wouldn't have affected me like the water did.
Oh my God. She tried to waterboard you. Just tried to Dick Cheney you, bro.
Yeah. She tried to stab multiple people at my band's shows. Like,
huh?
And that was like the thing where I'm like, man, you gotta. And I knew she was going back to Russia soon. Like I knew she would only had like 4 months left. Like she was on some military.
Oh,
exchange.
she was legit Russian.
Yeah.
Like lived there and then came here and was like, there's no
to work for 1 year for something that was on the base. And then she was going back. Like she was mean as shit.
Oh my god.
Like she was just up and gone one day and I could never been happier.
Tough as fucking nails. Because you can't break up with her.
No.
There's no way. I mean, if she ever finds you.
She was like 6'2".
Oh my god. I hope that you never cross paths with this lady again, dude. Because I feel like
she's in prison somewhere.
She's in a Russian prison.
She's in a Russian
Dude, Russian prisons are the worst.
That's probably why she was so bad. Like
my god!
She said she had been in trouble before.
You said she was 19.
She was 19. I was 19. Like 20.
Blonde.
20. I was 22.
Aren't Russians all
like
blonde?
19, 20.
I just want to keep saying racist shit since
yeah.
Is that race? Is Russian a race?
I mean,
because American's not a race,
country.
dude.
Right.
Yeah,
it's a country.
so we can be.
Well, I didn't mean like racist. See, that's the thing. Like I meant
stereotypical.
Is that anti-Semitic?
That's
What's the difference
anti-Jew. Anti-Semitic is anti-Jew.
Okay.
That means you say like shit that's offensive to Jews, I guess.
Well, I don't want to do that. I like Jewish people.
Yeah, but I don't think dude, I don't think it's possible to be racist against Russians because they can all beat the fuck out of you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think it was more of a stereotype of, it would have been like if never mind.
I just want to keep saying stereotypical Russian shit. Like she was blonde, right? They're all fucking blonde.
Yeah, she was. She was blonde. She was tall.
She probably owned a lot of like snow jackets and
hairy
shit.
armpits.
Hairy armpits.
Yeah, she didn't shave her legs either, but she'd wear dresses.
What a bad bitch, dude.
She'd wear dresses out, and I'd be so embarrassed. And then people would be like, "Man, she's beautiful." I'm like, "Yeah, she is." And then like they'd be flirting with her, and then they'd look down and see her legs, and then they wouldn't be around anymore.
I mean,
I get it.
I could deal with hairy legs.
I mean, I mean, from my partner, yeah, I don't care.
Like I know she has a vagina,
right? That's all.
Even though that could be hairy too.
I don't.
Which I'm also okay with that.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. Like
the first porn I ever saw was straight bush, dude.
Yeah.
Let me tell you this story, and then I want to ask you about comedy.
Okay.
So, first naked woman I ever saw. Don't know how old I was. Probably like 10 or 11. Like full naked woman. So I'm from Sanford. Just keep that in mind.
Right,
I'm about to tell you this story. So my grandparents live right across the street from me, and my great grandparents were tobacco farmers, and they bought like accumulated property with the money that they made from farming tobacco. So my great granddad, who was Scotch Irish, and he was the color of this fucking candle right here. He looked like an old baseball glove. He was because he's out in the sun all the time.
Right.
But he was Scotch Irish, so you think like red hair, fair skin, but no, this guy wasn't. So real skinny, like lanky. I don't really remember him, but his name was Orb. His name was Orburn. Orburn was his name, and his wife's, my great grandma's name was Lilybell. I'm just telling you so you have you can picture something in your head.
Yeah.
You know? So they had a barn, like a big tobacco barn, where you prime tobacco, you hang the tobacco up in the barn,
right,
and let it dry out. I guess is how it works. But my granddad, who was my hero, that's who my little boy's named after. He said we primed tobacco. That's what he would say. Prime tobacco. That's how he would say it. So I guess they would hang it up in this big, cool ass fucking old barn. So me and my buddy Matthew Welburn, shouts to Matthew Welburn. He was my best friend growing up, neighborhood best friend. We used to ride bikes all around the neighborhood. We ride bikes down to the barn, and we find this snake skin, like this long fucking snake skin on the side of the barn. I'm like, dude, look at that. So we open up the door, and like, I bet there's a snake in here somewhere. So we're like looking for the snake. Fucking, there's a page of a magazine, and it's just one page.
I forgot we were talking about porn.
Yeah. I love how you're into my story.
This sounds like where I grew up, and I forgot we were talking about porn.
There's a page of a magazine sitting inside the barn, and he picks it up. I'm like, I don't want to touch it because I'm like freaked the fuck out as a little kid. Like I'd never seen nothing like this. I'm like, oh my God, what is that? Like I'm freaked out. I remember being freaked out. He picks up the thing. He's like, oh man, look. I guess he had seen a naked woman before, maybe. I'm not sure. But he's like, look at this, look at this. I remember him being worse than I was, though, like as a kid, like throughout our relationship. So he picks it up and he shows me, and it's this woman, like fully nude with high heels on and just bush. Like a huge bush, and I'm like, what is that? Because I don't have any pubes at this point, and I don't know. I'm like, why is there hair there? Like, I'd never seen a naked person at this point. Like, I
Right.
mean, I probably had, but I'd never been interested.
You
Like,
never saw your parents naked?
probably. I seen my dad naked before.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I didn't. This was different.
I would not have expected your dad to be a finely manicured.
This was something
I never
different.
met him.
Like, this was,
You said Sanford.
yeah, he definitely had pubes, my
Okay.
dad. But shouts to my dad. No. So I mean, I like had definitely probably seen naked people, but this was something I'm like,
Yeah.
I was aroused by it as
It's
a child.
manicured, magazine ready.
Yeah, with titties, and
Yeah.
I mean, I'd seen titties before, but like seeing the woman's bush, I'm like, what's going on down there, you know? But that, I mean, that's kind of the whole point of the story, just to tell you how I found my first porn. But like, I thought about it, and I'm definitely doing a joke about it because my great granddad used to walk down to that barn to jerk off. You know what I'm saying? He had to. He had to. And
Why else would you have that?
yeah,
out
dude.
there?
My great grandma's in there with a fucking dude. She had a spittoon
What?
where she would put snuff.
Yeah.
She would pack and spit into a fucking spittoon. My great grandma Lily Bell that I was telling you about. She, I loved her. Like, I loved her. And she would say, hey, go out and get this cotton and fill this. She would make me fill some big bucket. I can't remember what it looked like, but it was a bucket.
Yeah.
She had a big cotton field. She's like, go get all the cotton, pick all the cotton. You need to wear shoes. She would be like, boy, you need to wear some shoes. I would never wear shoes. I always get sand spurs in my feet. But I would pick the bucket full of cotton. I'd bring it inside to her, and I remember her spittoon and her shitty-ass carpet and furniture and shit. And how it smelled weird. It smelled
that's the
fucking weird.
worst smell,
It
man.
smelled weird, dude. But she would like, all right, now pick all the seeds out. And this is how old school this lady was. She'd say, pick all the seeds out of the cotton. And my fingers, dude, by the end of it, my fingers were killing me. I'd pick all the seeds out, and she'd go, all right, now count the seeds. And I would count all the seeds, and I loved it as a kid. I loved that she was
Right.
getting me to do something productive. She knitted quilts, and she used this cotton to knit quilts. And counted all the seeds. She gave me a penny for every seed. So if I had like 200 seeds, I'd get $2.
Yeah.
And she would give it to me in the silver dollars. So like they had these old, like nobody really gave a fuck about a silver dollar back then because they were kind of, I guess, more prevalent than they are now.
Yeah.
But she would give me, when she had them, she would give me these silver dollars. And like I had some 100-year-old ones. I don't know where they are now, probably my parents. But that's just like,
I still have those too. My grandpa used to have them.
they're
in his
worth
pocket.
money. And
Really?
they're probably, yeah, they're definitely worth money.
he used
He
to have
had them in
his
his pocket and they probably wore themselves down.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Well, no, he would have them in his pocket and he would randomly give them to kids. He was a preacher.
Oh, that's so cool.
So he would just randomly give them to kids, or he'd be like, hey, can I give your kid a silver dollar?
So cool.
And tell them a story about it. And they're like, he's like, I'm a preacher, but I'm not going to preach.
Yeah.
He's like, I just want to give your kid a silver dollar. And he would do it, and he would tell them to always, remember that somebody saw them and believed in them and gave them something to remember that somebody believed in them. And
That's
their
so
parents
cool.
believed in them to get it. Like it was I don't remember. I was a little kid. But it was like something like that, where it was an awesome thing. He did it all the time. There was like one parent I remembered. It was like, give me $20. I know you got it, motherfucker. But
Oh,
Grandpa
my
was a
God.
slouch. Like Grandpa was like a boxer, preacher guy, and even when he was old, he didn't give a fuck. Like he would tell somebody straight up where to go. Didn't matter if they were in the congregation at the time.
Oh, what a
or
badass.
K&W. Yeah, he was awesome. I love that.
But so that just tells you right there, your grandpa and my great grandpa and grandma and my granddaddy Maddox. So my son's name's Maddox. My granddad's last name was Maddox. So he's named after, because my granddad was my absolute favorite person in the world. And then he died like a year, or it was about a year before we had our son. Or it was around the same time that he died. And when he died, I like really, like a part of me left too, you know what I mean? Because he was my fucking hero, dude. Like that dude could do no wrong in my eyes.
Yeah.
And like he would fucking tell you how it was. And like he kind of got more compassionate and loving as I got older. But when I was little, bro, he would never cuss me out or anything like that. He said, "Dad gummit." That's what he would say. "Dad gummit," and he said it just like that. And he had he had an obnoxious laugh like mine. And there's just nobody in my whole family that I relate to more than him.
I was the same with my grandpa.
Yeah, he's like the one. Like
would
I'm like,
cuss
damn, where'd I come from?
Every now he'd be like, "This is horse shit. This is horse shit."
And I wondered like where did I come from? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I would see him and I'm like, oh.
I get
I'm
it.
a chip off that block. You know what I'm saying? Like it skipped a generation. That's me.
Hey, and that's a good thing to be proud of, man. You
Love
know,
that guy.
yeah, same way about my grandpa.
So how'd you get into comedy? I'm sorry, we
No, you're
guys,
good.
we're just talking and bullshitting, but I
You're
really
good.
want to talk to you about
You
some
mind?
comedy shit.
I have got a piece.
Yeah,
of
dude,
that.
piss in the yard.
Okay, cool.
I'll talk to the people.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good, dude.
I'm old.
You ain't even took a sip of that water either.
Oh, I've been drinking out of mine.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
I was about to talk shit about his bladder, guys, but he has been drinking liquid on this podcast. So, guys, perfect time to do an ad. So this podcast is brought to you by Womack Electrical Contractors. Now, they do the best electrical work around, okay? And I am friends with the owner and operator of Womack Electrical Contractors. And if you need any electrical work done whatsoever, call 910-231-7679. They've been a proud sponsor of this podcast the entire time I've been doing it. Wesley, the owner of Womack Electrical Contractors, helped me build this entire room. The lighting is all from them, and everything here that you see, Wesley helped me with all that. So shouts to Womack Electrical Contractors, and shouts to Wesley for being just, solid friend and just a great business owner, great guy to call if you need any work done. So definitely, guys, hit them up if you need anything done. It was a perfect time for me to plug my sponsor.
Good.
So that's what I did.
See, I'm glad I knew it.
Yeah. Comedy. How'd you
Comedy.
start comedy?
I lied.
What happened?
I lied.
You lied.
God damn. So yeah, I started. Man, this is my 10th year.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
This November will be 10 years,
Mm.
and it's like next month.
Wow.
I was coming out of a marriage that I didn't know was ending, and she was spending I think it was 6 weeks in China with her company, and I was just I had nothing to do but drink and everything else, and I just decided I was like, man, I'm gonna try stand up, and I was like,
Damn, you just out of nowhere decided.
Well, I've been wanting to do
I'll
it.
take a picture of you. Keep talking.
I was wanting to do it, but then I never had the balls. I wanted to try it when I lived down in Myrtle Beach, when I played in bands and stuff. I used to go to the old Carolina Comedy Club when it was in Surfside, South Carolina, instead of Myrtle Beach. It was just a little fucking in a shopping strip mall.
Strip
It was a
mall,
little
yeah.
size of a Claire's, pretty much. I used to go there and watch comedy all the time. I went there and saw Arias Spears a few times. I'd go down to the Comedy Cabana. I was I always wanted to do it, but I never had the balls. So, but I was always doing podcasts and stuff with my friends. And then I'd been performing since I was a little kid with either theater or whatever the fuck,
You were in a band, you just said, right?
I was in bands.
So you're on stage.
Yeah. Just, doing plays. I started doing theater stuff when I was 7. So it was kind of one of those things I had to do.
Yeah.
It was either you go to these church groups or you get involved in the theater, and I'm fucking theater. Let's go.
Yeah. There you go.
They didn't know, man. Theater kids were horny as hell. I learned a lot of stuff at theater.
Bumping and grinding.
Oh, yeah, dude. I felt my first boob at theater.
Oh, nice.
The first hoo-hoo. And that means lady part because I didn't want to say vagina.
Yeah, theater means a lot to you.
Theater
then.
means a lot.
It's a big part of your life.
Yeah. Well, I called this person. I lived in Norfolk, Virginia, and I got up with somebody that was doing comedy, and I was like, hey, I want to try. I was like, I want to do it. Yeah, I've done it before. No problem. He was
Lie.
like, yeah,
That's the lie. Okay.
Never done it.
Okay.
Never do it. But I knew that I'm not scared of public speaking. I feel more uncomfortable on stage talking to people than I do just out in the concert. I hate going to concerts, but I like being on stage.
Damn, that's crazy because
Yeah.
it's so different for me.
Yeah, it's
for
weird,
some reason.
man. It's fucking
Damn.
weird. But I got up with this girl. Her name was Channing, and she was doing this thing at the, I think it was called the Naked Iguana. I thought it was a strip club or a spicy iguana. I don't remember. It was something iguana.
Sounds like a strip club.
Yeah. It was a nice little place. Had a nice sound system, a nice stage, nice lights, nice outdoor thing. So she was like, I'm doing this one show. Can you do 15 minutes? I'm like, yeah.
First time?
First time.
Oh, my God,
Yeah,
dude.
no problem. And I spent, it was a
Making
month
me nervous.
away.
You're making me nervous.
Well, it was one of those things that's natural to me.
You're making me nervous telling this story.
Oh. Well, I lied to her and I told her I could do 15 minutes. I'd done it before.
Oh my God, dude.
Whatever. And I spent a month writing a story because I didn't know how to write jokes. I just knew stories.
Yeah.
I knew I was funny. I knew I could make people laugh, but I thought that was the same thing. So I told this story. And when I did, like, my friends came up here from Wilmington that I did a podcast with because I lived here before I moved anywhere else.
Okay.
And then I came back here in 2014.
Okay.
So I met the best friends in the world, which is why I moved back. They came up there to see it, and we were all drinking like 2 hours before, and I go up there and I tell these stories. I don't even remember, like, they were all real stuff and then also like just embellished stories, which most comedy is.
Yeah.
And I didn't bomb. Like, I've watched it since then. I was like, holy shit, I didn't bomb. It was sucked. It wasn't good, but I didn't bomb. You know what I mean? So it was one of those things, like, then I was hooked. So I told that same story for 15-minute sets. Every time I could. I blew every single light at open mics.
Did you?
Yeah. And then I decided to start my own room just like every other new comic tries to do. You know? And the veterans got mad. Like, they got mad at me. There was one comic, I'm not going to say his name. I mean, we're friends now. But he got so mad that he had the Funny Bone in Virginia Beach call a meeting about the standard of quality in Virginia Beach and Norfolk and how new people opening rooms is going to hurt the local comedy scene, which this far into my career, like, you know, like, I agree with him. It does. It absolutely does.
Why is that, you think?
So here's the
That's
thing.
probably a stupid question.
There's people that love comedy that want to go out and see comedy. Comedy is something that to me it's sacred, and it always has been. It's just something different about writing material and going and performing it on stage and it making people laugh. It's this magical thing. There's nothing better than that to me. But there's a lot of people that it takes a while to find your voice. I was that way when I first started. I wanted to be as offensive as possible. That was the thing. No one's going to hold me back. No one's going to censor me. No one's going to do this. And I had a group of other young comics that wanted to do it with me. And we did. We were as offensive as possible. We didn't listen to the rules of the shows around town. But we also didn't get booked, you know? And then I finally got a job at the Funny Bone in Virginia Beach doing sound production because production's always been kind of my thing. And he was just like, hey, man, I saw you one time. He was like, you had potential, but you were way too dirty. I'd never put you on this stage. And I was like, what? And he was like, yeah, no. You can do something clean. Come do this Clash of the Comics. I was like, you can't. He was like, you can't say fuck, you can't say cunt, and you can't say the N-word, and you get 5 minutes. If you say any of those three things, you're cut off and you're banned from my stage forever.
Oh, wow.
I mean, there was plenty of people that went up there. Fuck wasn't that big of a deal.
Yeah, that one would slip out,
yeah,
probably.
if you dropped the N-word, didn't matter what color you were, light cut out.
Damn.
It was the rules of the show.
Yeah.
You know? And what it was beautiful for me then because it taught me in my first year of comedy that you have to listen to the rules. You know, this is a stage. You're being invited to do this, and you need to follow what this club wants their brand to be. You know, so that was a young thing for me to learn. I haven't followed it a lot in my time. You know, with drinking and everything, I didn't give a shit. You know, I fucked up a lot. But I learned the respect of it and the value of it early. So this old timer, this veteran, he still does comedy today. Like, I mean, he's not huge, but he's funny. Old guy. And he still tours around his van with his Doberman, does comedy. Good dude.
Yeah.
You know? And he was like so against me. He didn't respect me, which he didn't have a reason to. You know, I'm first year into comedy, and all he hears is me opening a room and then something disrespectful happening because I was hammered. So that's all he knows about me. So they had this big meeting. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. Me and the owner of the Funny Bone Squash, he was like, well, I don't even know why we're talking about this. And then that guy still wouldn't talk to me for a while. But after a while, he invited me to his room that was in a theater, like a movie theater. They just had a stage in front of the movie theater, and they would just put spotlights down.
That's
on
kind
it.
of cool.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
It was a cinema cafe show. And you got 8 minutes, very strict time, 8 minutes, say what you want, but if you fuck up, you're never coming back. and he put me on
Like
a
if
show.
you bomb.
Yeah. Well, if you're so offensive and you make people walk and you disrespect the stage or other comics, it's done. You're done. You know, it was so strict, and I loved it because I respected this guy for giving me the opportunity when he hated me, giving me this opportunity to come.
Well, he
and
knew
do
you were a
this.
good comic.
I wasn't, though.
Really?
Yeah, because I
You
went
think
there.
he did it just to make you bomb?
I went there one time, and I told some jokes about. Oh my god, it was like first year material. Like I don't even remember what it was. I know it was very disrespectful to like women and sexual stuff because that's what everybody writes on, you know, in their first year. And he was just like, "Hey man, your punchlines weren't really that bad." He was like, "But I'm not going to have you back for a while until you can come back with a 7 minutes that's clean and funny." He was like, "No offense, I'm not talking shit. I think differently of you now, but you need to get past that point." And I'm like, "Yeah, fuck you, man, whatever." And then I went over to the Funny Bone and told them what happened. He was like, "They're absolutely right. Like, you've got to write clean. If you can't write clean, you can't do it." It was a Mike Speenberg comic from, I believe he's in South Carolina now. Amazing Southern comic. Hilarious. Can be dirty as fuck, but he can also do an hour clean. That's some of the funniest shit I've ever seen.
Wow.
So good.
Versatile. Very versatile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he...
That's how you make money, I think.
Mm-hmm. That is how you make money. And he told me, like, I opened for him one time at the Funny Bone, and he was like, it was a Clash of the Comics that he was headlining because he was doing the weekend after that, the next night. So I was on the Clash of Comics, and those things I never got anything. I think one time I didn't place, but other than that, it was third, second, tied for second, third, second. And if you got third, second, or first, you did not have to bring people the next time. You were automatically on the show. So that was my goal.
So it's like a bringer show.
Yeah, it was an absolute bringer
you.
show.
I got you.
And it was like it was packed for these shows all the time. And I made it the point because I didn't know that many people. Not many people really liked me that much.
Needed to win.
I needed to win to get to the next show.
Yeah.
And those made me better, learning to go by those rules. And Mike Speenberg told me one time, he was just like, "Man, I just heard that you were really dirty, but that was really good." He was like, you're new, and I can tell they're new. You're not going to tell those jokes in 4 years. I'm like, "This is the funniest shit ever." Of course I am. This is going to go. I haven't told those jokes in years.
Yeah.
But he kind of, like, I just had a lot to where I came from a comedy scene to where there was more veterans than there was new folks. And it's, you know, you've seen it already, that there's a rotating door, a revolving door, people that come in, try it, leave. They come in, they're gung-ho, they do a lot, they try to be a part of a scene, and then they leave. Like, it happens all the time. That's why, like, I don't learn people's names until I've met them, at least known them for a year.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't care.
Yeah, like if I don't see you around that much.
Yeah.
You know, it's like.
Mm-hmm.
I
And
mean,
a lot of people are kind of disrespectful now, you know, and I don't go out as much as I used to. There's been a few times to where those people that are usually out pretty quick, that go to like, before the pandemic when Crow had the open mics every Thursday, it was packed out every Thursday. Like there was a few times that I wouldn't go for a couple weeks, and then I'd have something I want to work on, and I'd show up, and then they'd be like, "Who's this guy, man? Who the fuck are you, man?" I'm like, "I have no idea." And they another veteran would be like, "Oh yeah, he's new. He's been here for a few weeks." I'm like, "Oh, okay. He's got that pink cloud."
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
He's got that pink cloud. No problem, man. You run on.
I've always just felt like I don't know shit. Like
It's the way to do it.
honestly, that's how I've always felt, and I still feel that way. I feel like the only thing I know is that I'm capable of being me on stage and being funny. Like I don't have to be somebody I'm not to get laughs. Like I can literally just be who I am, and
you're fine.
and I have fun,
And that's good.
It's fun for me. You
That's
know
all
what
that
I mean?
matters.
And there's a million other things probably that I could do on stage, but
The key is it's okay to feel like you don't know shit.
I don't know shit.
That's good.
Yeah,
But you also have to have some sort of arrogance.
have to have confidence.
You gotta be cocky, dude.
I know I can go on stage and make people laugh because I've done it.
Yeah.
I have bombed at Dead Crow before at an open mic, but it's kind of like,
me too.
dude. Like, I haven't been on stage enough times to really eat shit. Like, I feel like if I went on stage enough times in front of enough people, I would eventually really eat shit. But I've definitely gotten off stage and been like, oh,
Dude.
Like, felt terrible. Like, that was fucking
I've
terrible.
had shit thrown at me before. I was so drunk.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, see, I don't drink.
Right.
So it's like I'm pretty clear-headed and nervous as fuck. That's the main.
I get opposite, man. I'm hyped.
Really? Yeah, I'm hyped.
Oh.
See, honestly, dude, I'm so hyped that I have to sit down now.
Really?
Yeah, dude. Like, when I stand up, I get fucking so hyped, and I can't do my jokes. Like, I can't get my jokes across the way I want them to get across. I know I can do it. It's just I need to try to stay a little more calm.
Yeah, you got to keep collected.
You got to keep.
You got to get the memory from brain to mouth keep going. Yeah, I know. You got to connect the dots.
Yeah, and
I'm the same way.
I don't know. When I have been sitting down on the stool lately, and that's been, and I've had people say shit to me about like, and it's cool. Like, I'm cool with it. You can say whatever you want, but if that's how I get my jokes across, and they're like, "Oh, you wear shorts on stage?" I'm like, "Yeah, I fucking wear shorts on stage." I didn't know that was. I didn't know that. Did you know that was a thing?
Yeah, it's definitely a thing.
I didn't know that was a thing. What the fuck, dude? What
Nobody
does
should
that
say
mean,
shit
bro?
about it, though.
What does that mean?
I nobody wants to look at a man's ass hairy legs. That's all it is.
I didn't know that because I wear super short shorts on stage.
You do.
Yeah, I didn't know
You're
that
an
was a
investor in chubbies.
bro. I didn't know that was a fucking thing, dude. Until Harrison, you know Harrison Friedman.
Yeah, well, I mean,
He told me
wears
that-
short. Yeah, don't he used to do it too? And that dude's like,
I didn't
8
even,
feet tall,
dude. Until
wearing
he
2
told
foot
me.
shorts.
Until he told me, I had no clue.
Really?
Yeah, and
it's
I
a
would
thing.
joke about it. I would be like, I look like a gym teacher sitting on a fucking 5-gallon bucket yelling at little kids.
It's a thing.
And then I started looking at professional comics. I'm like, none of them are wearing shorts ever. And I'm like, I just learned this fucking 3 days ago.
I say
had no clue,
there's
bro.
plenty of big comics out there that have done it that wear shorts. Big J. Okerson wears shorts.
I see. I didn't notice
He
anybody.
also wears a big ass hoodie, but he wears shorts.
Yeah.
It'll be summer and he'll be sitting there wearing a short.
and he has some gloves.
Yeah, he
wears
got the
a
gloves.
fingerless.
Sweet dude. So nice. So nice. But I don't know how people wear hoodies during the summer.
Yeah, he's Legion of Skanks, right?
Yeah.
Love that shit.
Yeah, he's been at Decker a lot.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like
I didn't know
this
that.
is actually the first year I think they were open. He hasn't been there.
Have you been to the new spot?
Oh yeah,
Sick.
yeah, man.
Sick. I think that's probably where I first saw you was an open mic at Dead Crow.
The original Dead Crow.
Yeah, the OG one.
Yeah,
and it
yeah,
was
yeah.
like, and I'm like, oh, this guy's fucking been doing this shit for years. Like, you can just, most of the time, I feel like you can tell when somebody's,
You can.
You can
Except
just-
how invested they are off stage.
that might be the first thing I said to you when I met you, just like how your delivery. Because you still do storytelling bits.
I try.
Yeah,
It's fun.
and like it sticks with me, like how I knew the trucker fucker thing. Like it sticks with people, you know. I don't know, man. Fucking.
No,
so the
I
first time
appreciate
you
it.
ever did stand up, you had to lie to get in
I
there.
lied to get on it,
and then you learned your discipline through having rules at shows.
yeah,
where
and
you
then,
had to.
but I still wasn't writing my own shit. Like my best friend lives here in town, Marco Urabazo. You may see him at Dead Crow. Like he runs sound sometimes there. Big tall dude, big dude. He looks like the lead singer of Iration, the band.
Okay,
Everybody
yeah, I know who
says
that
it. Like
is.
we were out drinking when I drank, and then this guy started like right when I left, he started buying him and all my friends shots because he thought he was the singer of Iration.
Oh wow.
And he was just like, yeah, that's me. Yeah, all right. Like, he just like got drunk off the guy.
Wow.
It was great. I was so sad I missed it because I would have just leaned into it even harder.
Yeah, come take a selfie with my boy. Come
Yeah,
on.
I could take a selfie with my boy. You
So
wanna sit
he
on
was
his
helping you
lap?
write shit,
He's hilarious. He's hilarious.
but doesn't do stand up.
No, he's done it before and he's funny. But like we wrote so well together. Like I would come up with like a premise, and then we would get on Skype because he lived here and I lived up in Norfolk, and we would just write for like a couple hours together.
Wow.
And then I would come up with it, and then I'd go record the sets and send it to him. He was like, yeah, that works. So we would like write the thing together, but it was always his punchline. I could not write punchlines to save my life. The premises were great, but I couldn't finish them. I couldn't put the cherry on top of it. And he's one of those guys, like if you're having a conversation with him, he's going to say something, one line in the middle of whatever conversation it is, and it's going to be the funniest fucking thing you've heard that
Wow.
night. Like he's so good at that. So it was like all these one-liners. And that was like the first 4 years, my first real 15 minutes of comedy, I think I wrote one punchline.
So you're coming up with premises. You guys are riffing back and forth, writing.
Yeah. Because I just figured, man, it's a tribe. Like, if you have supportive friends and you have people that are funny that just don't want to do that but love writing the stuff.
Absolutely. I get punchlines from my boy at work all the time. I'm like, bro, you should try stand up. He's like, man, don't have time. I do too much other shit. I was like, well, help me write some jokes, bud.
Mm-hmm.
And I do. I get so many, and he's
Yeah.
come up with good premises for me too, as well as punchlines.
Yeah.
But I'll come up with a premise, and I'll say it like, hey man, this is what happened whenever Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin landed on the moon. Because I'm trying to write this bit about the first moon landing, and I've been writing it for so long and hadn't had the balls to do it on stage yet. But when I told him about it like a couple weeks ago, he was like, "Oh, well, there's no gravity, so blah blah blah." I'm like, fucking dude, like that's two really good bangers you just came up. I'm like writing it down as he's talking and shit, you know, and just people will tell me fucked up stories, and I'm like in my phone on my notes while they're talking. I'm like, oh, so this guy was working on your shed out back, and he said that he got the vaccine, and then he went down to the animal hospital to get scanned for a microchip. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Bam, got a bit. It works. I've done it like 4 times now from some
I love
dude.
that joke.
Yeah, and
that
I'm
joke.
still developing, like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? It just works well with who I am. Like, that's definitely something I would fucking do.
Oh, I'll tell you. There's
but
been a
that's
couple
cool that you say that about your boy writing punchlines.
Oh yeah.
Because a lot of people won't.
I give him credit. Like I
very
have no
cool.
problem in giving credit. Like entertainment, man. This comedy thing is serious. Making people laugh is so important to me. Like it's so. I've always had a thing of wanting to make people happy. I never give a fuck what they think about me, but I always want them to be happy. So if I can do something or say something that's gonna make them smile and laugh and make their day, like it's so kind of, you know, wussy to say really, but I do. I love making people
Life
happy.
is hard, man.
It is.
Life is
it's
hard.
important. Comedy is so important to me, my sobriety, me being happy and being able to be a good dad and a partner. You know, like it's everything, you know? And it's actually this right after this pandemic, like I was doing a couple shows like the one you're talking about.
Yeah, I've done a few shows with you.
Yeah.
Whiskey Tango, Foxtrot, Brass Kettle.
Uh-huh.
Or not, Brewer's Kettle.
Brewer's
yeah.
Kettle. Like I kind of got a phobia after one show, and I don't want to say where, who was with. Oh, I was supposed to say Jack was there because I went off on Jack on stage. Like I was so pissed off at the world that night.
Yeah.
And after that show, I kind of got a phobia. I'm like, you know, my life has been flipped upside down and becoming a dad and trying to be a good husband and a good dad. And I hate my job with a passion, and it's making me miserable. And now comedy is all weird because nobody's going out anymore. I don't have the dead crow. Like, what is this? I can't go out on the road and do out of town shows anymore because I'm not going to miss something my kid does. Like, I've lived on the road and touring and stuff. Not just a comedy, but like music and then lighting designer, tour manager stuff. Like I had that life. I don't want to do it anymore. You know? So I had this phobia from that one show of me because it was weird. Nobody was doing the light. The host he was there, but he wasn't there. And every comic did like 20, 25 minutes. And the show didn't start for an hour and a half after it was supposed to.
Oh,
and my
shit.
babysitters were supposed to go home at 10.
Oh, no.
And it was like 10:30 before I went on. So I was pissed. And then Jack, he didn't get a light, and he was killing it like he does.
Yeah.
And so he just kept going.
Yeah.
He did exactly what he's supposed to do. The crowd loved him. When he realized how far he was over, he got off. He was like, hey, man, sorry. I'm like, no, it's good. Whatever. But then I snapped, and I got on. I was like, motherfucker, I just bitched about how long this was going. And I just he was outside. He was smoking. He was like, okay, Billy. Okay, love you. And he just turned around and walked away because he knows, like,
Yeah.
I can be a dick.
Yeah.
Sometimes I've never done that on stage. Like, I've never lost my shit. So that kind of got me a phobia. I need to step away for a little bit.
Well, kids will do that to you.
Kids will do that.
It does. Kids do that to women a lot. Women turn into fucking psychopathic bitches over their kids, which I totally understand because I turn into a fucking man cunt over
Yeah.
my kids, bro, real
yeah.
quick. Like I was just telling you. Like my boy that I've known longer than my kid.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, hey, talk to my fucking kid, you disrespectful piece of shit. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know, dude. It's if you wouldn't have had kids at home and a babysitter, you probably wouldn't have gave a fuck.
No.
You might would have cared like I fucking would wish I was on earlier. But
Yeah.
That
I'm
shit,
old, man. I don't like being
dude.
out.
I go to bed at like 9,
Yeah.
bro. Like I'm tired as
I'm
fuck.
usually like 10:30, 11, whatever. But then I work from home, man. Like I sit in a desk chair all day talking to people on the phone. So like I'm not really tired at night. You know,
So you went on late.
I went on late. I kind of went off. So I got a little bit of phobia, and I was like, man, I need to like think about this because that's
Phobia.
not me.
What do you mean? Of what?
Like why I had to reevaluate and kind of like look at why I was being such a dick. And it made me realize that not only was I doing it there, I was doing it like to the people I talked to at work. I was talking like doing it to my not so much my stepsons because I'm pretty good about being level headed, but like just anywhere out in public, like I was hating everybody, hated everything. So I had to find out what was doing that. Luckily, like I got a great lady at home that knows me. Like I don't know how she's putting up with me, but she does it.
Yeah.
Like so, she was like kind of that conversation of, okay, well, why are you so angry? Like I'm angry because everything changed out of the blue. Like there's no more Crow right now. There's no more going out of town and doing comedy right now. There's no more really comedy right now. I'm trying to get this show off the ground that I'm doing creative. I spent so much money on the pandemic on production shit, like to make a good quality.
Yeah, you have
video show.
Plug that.
It used to be it's not anymore, but it used to be like Panic at the Costco, where me and Marco, Amy from Dead Crow got on a couple times. But it would just be like four friends talking, shooting the shit.
Nice.
About whatever.
Yeah.
Like we spent 2 episodes.
YouTube? Where can they find it?
It was on YouTube.
Twitch?
Yeah, YouTube, Twitch, Billy Raim.
And they search what?
Billy Raim.
Billy Raim.
Yeah,
R-A-I-M.
Mm-hmm.
Billy Raim.
B-I-L-L-Y-R-A-I-M.
Okay.
Like there's some of it early back there. Like back in the early pandemic stuff. And then I just kind of stopped doing it. Because I started like getting into like actually the production side of the graphics and all that stuff, and then I was like, man, I don't feel like talking to anybody now. I just want to play video games. But I bought all this shit, so I have to use it. So then I started like meeting other streamers and stuff, and like I got on Ron Funch's show, and that got me like, a lot of followers.
What do you do? Put you on there your clip of your video?
No, I got on their stream with them, and they're just
no
it
shit.
was like him and one
He's
of my
a comedian.
friends. Yeah. Yeah, really funny. He's
really
hilarious.
funny. Yeah, I've heard some of his shit.
Like he didn't. I basically invited myself on that too. Like,
Hey, I fucking dig it, bro.
A friend of mine.
You gotta
was
make
like,
moves,
hey,
bro. You gotta make money moves,
yeah,
bro.
Like she's a comic in California and does shows with them all the time. They're like best friends. I'm like, hey, let me on that.
Yeah, he's been on Rogan before.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I've heard.
Let me on that. She was like, man, I gotta ask him. There's already too many people. I'm like, well, if somebody drops out, just tell him, hey, I got somebody. He's a comic. I've opened for him. Let him know that it's me. She was like, you really think he's going to remember you? I was like, no, not at all, but at least there'll be an in, whatever. And then I was just sitting there with my wife on the couch, and then she texted me. She's like, hey, somebody dropped out. He said you can join. I'm like, fuck yeah. So I ran in there. I didn't get my camera on or anything. I was just there talking and laughing, and we were playing Call of Duty together, like all of us.
So I've never been on Twitch. So you're playing a game live with other comedians or commentators or gamers, and they're talking.
Right.
You're talking. You're kind of like podcasting.
You can like go to like you could went to his channel and seen his camera and him playing the game, but you'd hear all of us. And the same thing on mine.
So you're like going to Ron Funch's channel to see him play Call of Duty.
Right.
Like if you want to see a comedian play a game that they're good at, or just see them do wild shit and say wild shit while they're playing the game.
Hanging out with his friends. You just watch people. It's a billion.
So you're on the team. You're on a team
industry.
together playing the game. And you're talking shit to each other, talking
shit to each other, making each other laugh, actually playing the game. Like, I get into it. Like, I'm competitive with that game. So I was, like, talking shit to Carmen.
Well, that's cool as fuck that you got to get on his channel with him.
I never got invited back.
That's still cool. That's awesome.
It was cool. And then that got me, like, a lot of followers. And then people started subscribing.
Oh, that's dope.
And then, like, it just started getting, like, it's not that much money, but I'm a dad. Every little bit helps.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean?
And
like,
you get to do some fun shit and make money off of it.
Every Thursday night, I get to play video games for 4 hours.
And you get to tell your wife, hey, this is my other job. It's my side hustle.
Well, I get a night. She gets a night, and I get a night.
That's how we are.
Yeah.
That shit is genius.
It's genius, man.
Like,
it's genius.
It is. You need your own time.
Yeah.
Whether it be, like, maybe she's like, hey, get a babysitter. Let's both go out. Or maybe she wants to go out with her friends, or there's something like I literally have multiple things I do. I started this because like of the kids, and I was like, okay, I can't leave the house, so I need to do something at the house, like you're doing at your house. I need to produce content of some sort, you know. So I don't know.
That's
man.
how you do it.
Yeah, I mean, you get it. A lot of people don't get it, but like I have things in me that need to come out, and if they don't, like, I get angry. I turn into an angry person.
Yeah.
If I'm not writing, if I'm not drawing, if I'm not making videos, fishing, which I love. I love being outside.
Dude,
so
I watch your fishing shit.
I love fishing,
I love
bro.
fishing.
That's like my passion.
Oh my God.
I want to try. So I would definitely. I'm so glad you watch it because I need suggestions. So like I'm open to suggestions on, like it's just me and a GoPro.
That's all you need.
And yeah, and I've got, I've made a cool, like had my tattoo artist draw me up a cool logo.
Yeah.
And things like that. And I have a little theme song at the beginning and shit, a little jingle or whatever that I made on GarageBand. So it's like I try to do everything myself, and I think it's dope,
I like it, man.
And I like your suggestion about the lights.
I just like fishing.
I love fishing,
Dude,
bro.
it's like I haven't
Oh,
been.
you said you wanted to go fishing.
Yeah, I do want to go fishing. I haven't been in so long.
We need to go fishing. You were telling me a story about when you went, it was your birthday, and you went to a fucking lake somewhere and camped out and caught like 50 fish.
Oh, yeah, dude.
It was your birthday,
nuts.
right?
Yeah, I went back to Lake Gaston.
And your wife was like, what do you want to do on your birthday? And you're
I
like,
want to go by myself.
Exactly. That I knew that was you telling me
I
that
want to
story.
go somewhere by myself. And she's like that way, too. Like, she's so understanding. She's like, okay.
See, that's how
I don't like
that's how
it,
my wife is. I'm gonna say wife. I'm gonna do like you because
Dude.
people be saying wife, and I'm like, I say old lady, which is fine too.
Right.
But like,
I can't say that.
My wife is the same way. Like she understands. Like I'm an individual, and I'll never be. This relationship won't be ever my identity. I love our relationship, but it's never gonna be me. Like this isn't gonna be who I am, and I think that's why she likes me.
That's why, because when you lose that and you start being everything for your person and you stop taking care of yourself, that's when shit always goes bad.
Yeah.
That's when shit always goes bad.
Yeah.
I like me and I say it too, like wife, we're not even engaged. We
You
will.
can say whatever you want.
I know that I'm going to die before we ever break up. I'm old as fuck. She's like 6 years young. She's 36, 37.
Okay.
So I'm 42. So we got a little bit of a difference.
Yeah.
And like she knows that like I'm weird. Like I need to be by myself a good little bit. But her love language is quality time. Like she would rather use her night if she's not like painting in her studio. She would rather cuddle up on the couch.
Spend it with you.
Yeah.
That's how mine
Do
is.
a puzzle, play a board game, color in our adult coloring books.
Yeah. That's how mine is too.
Yeah.
I just think that's cool that you guys have your day
Oh yeah.
where you can choose to do with it what you want,
Whatever
and
you
nobody's going to be butthurt about what you choose to do with it,
And her things actually turn into like now she doesn't do the thing on Wednesday nights anymore. Now she's like Saturday mornings I want to sleep in no matter what. And I'm like, yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if I've gotten 2 hours of sleep or a good full 4 hours.
Gotta get up and get
of
that
sleep.
baby.
I gotta get up when Tilly gets up.
Gotta get that
And then we
baby.
go in there, we make pancakes.
How cool is that shit?
I love it.
God, so cool.
Oh,
and
yeah.
you never thought your life was going to be this
I
way.
never thought my life was going to be this way. How many of your friends get tired of you talking about your kids?
Oh, I'm sure.
Dude.
I'm sure.
So many of my friends, like Zach Burke, he's told me so many times, he's like, man, you know how many times I follow you and unfollow you and then follow you again because I miss you and then unfollow you because it's just always your fucking kids.
God, isn't that wild how they just take you over?
Yeah, and it is, but
They just take you over. They take over your whole heart.
that's like, yeah. I never thought that I was going to love something so much. Like, honestly, like my whole family, like I love my stepsons. Like, and I don't have a favorite.
Yeah.
Like I like and dislike them all equally. I have, like I treat them equally. They're all different. I treat them as individuals. I love it. I love being a parent. I love being a good partner because I've been shitty before.
Same.
So I love that thing. It's such a rewarding feeling, and I don't have to worry, like being sober too. I don't have to worry about fucking up. Like if I fuck up, I know I'm doing
Yeah,
it.
you made that decision.
I made
You got
that happen.
nobody to blame. Like
Yeah.
Chris
Well, I mean-
Stapleton said.
Yeah, I had nobody to blame then either. But
Yeah, yeah.
now I feel bad.
Yeah.
Like just life in general is just great, and that's why recently, now that the Crows open back up, and I've started to like do weekend shows and stuff. There she is, right there. Hey, you okay? Yeah,
Oh,
I'm fine.
tell her we about to wrap it up. Oh, you got that new iPhone, ain't it? Ain't that new shit? The 13?
No, it's a 12 Pro.
Oh, they got the
Max.
fucking 3 cameras on that one too?
Yeah.
Damn, boy. You got to plug anything? We plugged your...
I'm not done talking about comedy.
Oh, let's talk about comedy.
No, the thing is, like, what I was going to say, and this is important to me, and every time I have the option to say it, I do, and this usually gets me in trouble. All right. And this is what I always say to new people doing comedy, where I was talking about how people like always, well, I didn't even get there, about how it's a revolving door.
Yeah.
Revolving door. and it's people try to be as dirty as possible, when they have it, but it's never going to get you anywhere. The main thing is I've noticed that made me love comedy so much more is when I started going to do comedy for myself and not like hanging out with a scene.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I have friends. A lot of my friends are comics, especially like here in town, but we don't hang out on a regular basis. Like I'm not going
how it is for me.
Out to do comedy to see my friends. I'm going out to try to put these thoughts together verbally and then say them. And then I want to get the fuck out of there as fast as possible so I can listen to it and rework it to try to say it better. Like it's like this victory of like, what is it? Can you compare it to cooking?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Like I always
it's good. Like you cook something and you're like, oh, I've cooked this 10 times and it's better. It's better than it was when I started, but there's still so many little things.
Many little things, especially like grilling, like on a charcoal grill, learning your temperatures and getting the coals just right and burning the fuck out of beautiful meat when you knew you could have done it better. Yeah. Like it's something
absolutely you can compare it to cooking because you got half-baked shit that you come out and say and you're like, but you have to say that half-baked shit to know if it has any potential at all.
You got to.
Like, are we going to pursue this idea that we have here, or are we going to fucking put it in my book and come back to it one day? Because I'm not throwing shit out. I'm not throwing nothing out. I don't care how fucking bad it is.
I still go back to my books.
Dude,
every now and then, like I'll go back and read shit from like 5 or 6 years ago.
Isn't it crazy how you can inspire yourself?
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy. And it's literally one of the most powerful things that I have. It's like one of my deadliest weapons with comedy is that I can go back to a joke that I wrote that was fucking terrible and literally pull something out of it that's gold. Yeah. Like I can see something and I'm just like, oh, wow. If I turn this idea just a little bit this way and say it this way, it could be funny. And then I go on stage, I'm like, holy shit, this is it. Like it was trash, like a pile of trash.
To bring it back around, where we started out talking about Chappelle, on how he can say something that's so offensive to some people, but you can't disagree with now, the trans stuff, okay, whatever. That it was I could see why some people would be, but you shouldn't be. It's comedy.
Yes,
comedy's going to push limits. It's not how he feels. It's just what he said to make people laugh. And a lot of Dave Chappelle's stuff, he'll try to make people laugh to fucked up things so they can realize how fucked up they are to be better.
I agree.
Like and I started to lose focus of but that right there, like on how my favorite thing, what Chappelle does great is. What I like to try to do is if you come up with something and you're like, okay, these people identified with. Now I need to change this around so these people I still identify, but so do these people.
Oh,
like, how do
I've never
I play
thought of
this
it like
word
that.
game? Like how do I play this to make both of these people who normally probably haven't said hi to each other, would never say hi to each other, how do I get them both to identify and laugh at the same thing?
I've literally never thought about it like that.
Fucking mind-blowing magic.
I guess you have to be paying attention to who you're making laugh.
Yeah.
Because I go full vegetable, bro. Like, I don't know. Like, it's hard for me to recognize what's going on when I'm up there.
Yeah. It depends on
But I feel like you've probably been up there a lot enough to where you can see a lot more shit. Your perspective is probably different than mine's like this. Like, I feel like this is where I'm at, and you may be here, and you can see...
You do. It's just getting as much time as possible. And, you came into a comedy scene to where it was, like, really blowing up, and you got up there quick, and you started to, like, get the laugh. You caught the bug really fast, and then the pandemic happened.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, people that don't have the pandemic going on, you would have had, like, 50 more shows under your belt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, my thing was I would go into rooms that were, like, people not like me. Like, I had one friend who predominantly did all black audiences. And he was like, you got to come do
white
this
guy.
room, dude. Yeah, white guy.
White guy, okay.
He was like, you got to come do this room, man. And I went to the show to see what it was. I was like 3 years into it. I was just like, I was watching these comics bomb.
Oh, Lord,
these white
Terry.
dudes bomb. And I'm like, I don't think I can do that. I can't. And then I watched him, and I'm like, holy fuck, that's the same joke he told over here, but he switched it this way. I'm like, I can still tell my jokes. Nobody's going to hate me for these. It's how I say them and it's how I word it so it's like, if it's a joke about a duck, it doesn't need to be about that duck. You can think it could be a duck, but you could also picture it as a chicken or a chicken fucking a duck.
Could be anything.
Like, it could be anything. It's about how you identify with it. And that's where it got me with like the observational humor side of things. And Dave Chappelle, to where he can say exactly what he wants to say, but he's going to phrase it in the way that's going to hit you, make you laugh at the beginning, in the middle, or at the end. You might not laugh at all of it, but you're going to see everybody get their satisfaction out of that one.
Oh, that's beautiful.
It's a beautiful art form.
That's beautiful the way you put it, because that's exactly what the fuck it is, dude.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. I didn't realize what you're saying about the groups, because that is so true. Mm-hmm. Like, there's always going to be people who are easily offended, or people that aren't offended at all, or people who like clean humor, people who like dirty humor. You got Christians, Buddhists, fucking whoever. Mm-hmm. You're going to have so many different backgrounds, black, white, whatever.
Yeah.
That's so true, because you want to try to get your shit to work. I mean, I guess it's never... I mean, maybe there's ways to make it work with everybody. I'm sure there is. I'm sure people do it all the time. I don't know. I feel like I definitely need to pay more attention to who I'm making laugh.
You got to. But be careful. It can throw you off, too.
When I do crowd work, it makes everybody laugh.
Yeah.
Like, when I shit talk... Or I can totally eat shit.
Yeah.
But then I could go back to my bits and I'll be fine, But... And usually I don't lose the crowd.
Right.
I've seen people who do crowd work and lose the crowd.
Man. I've bombed and made people leave trying to do crowd work.
I feel like my crowd work's pretty
That's
decent.
good.
It's just decent because I think there are a bunch of fucking hicks around here.
Right.
And they identify with a fucking hick.
When you're in North Carolina and
I've never done comedy anywhere else other than
Yeah.
North Carolina, so it's like, oh, these people are pretty much fucking just like me, Like,
Yeah.
I want to do comedy up north. I would love to do comedy up north and just see how I fare in a fucking room full of Yanks.
As they say, the thing is no matter where you go, yes, there's different crowds, yes, there's different cultures, yes, there's that, but if they go to a comedy club, they want to laugh.
They all laugh, though.
They want to laugh.
Yeah.
And that's what's the most beautiful place about a comedy club. That's why I love it so much. And that's why it wasn't the people there at Dave Chappelle's special that got offended.
No.
It was the people that watched these little clips. It was the people that weren't there in the comedy room, that wouldn't go to a comedy room, that want to be offended. But from what I just described about the way he does his comedy and about how he can interact with every single culture, every single group with the same joke, that's the one reason why it doesn't matter if people are pissed. He's never going to be canceled. He's Dave fucking Chappelle.
I love how he called it closer.
Yeah.
And he said, "This is the last one I'm going to do for a while."
I love his
because he knows that he knows the backlash he was going to get. Mm-hmm. Like, he knew the possibility when he went on stage.
Oh, I read an article today, like talking about how he loves. He was like, "Oh, how do you feel about being canceled?" He goes, "Bring it on, bitches! I canceled myself once already." I was like, "I have no problem if you."
Oh my god! How about him talking about the baby? You know who the baby is? Mm-hmm. The rapper. He's like, he shot somebody in a Walmart. He's like, you think you're gonna cancel him because he hurt some gay people's feelings? He's like, he still has a career and he killed somebody in a Walmart, and that's true.
Yeah,
he really killed somebody in a Walmart.
Nobody cares about that.
And the story he told about his trans friend, all real. My boy hit me up today. He's like, "Did you watch Chappelle?" It's the guy who gives me the punchlines. He's one of the funniest motherfuckers I've ever met, and he's just a dude that I work with, and he's one of my best friends. He's fucking hilarious. Like, I just had him on the podcast. I'm talking shit to him the whole time. Like, we're literally fucking like hating each other and shit, and it's just hilarious. It's just fun. But he was like, "Did you watch Chappelle's special yet?" And he loves comedy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, and we just talked about it, and he's like, man, I looked it up, and he's like, that's a true story about his friend jumping off a building, and I'm like, damn, because he's a student of the game, this guy, but doesn't do stand up,
right?
And I'm like, bro, you're one of the funniest, smartest motherfuckers I know, like so smart,
yeah.
And I'd never tell him this to his face, and he ain't gonna listen to this, the end of this, but he's so smart and like does his research and remembers shit, like he has like this memory. And I'm just
Those
like,
are the
bro.
funniest people.
I'm like, bro, you need to get on stage. He's like, don't have time. He has two kids.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I wish I could see you eat shit once and then kill.
He would come back.
Yeah, he'd come back. That's how that motherfucker is.
He'd come back.
I just think it's cool because I run bits by people sometimes, like this Neil Armstrong bit. I've been running it by like several comics just to try to figure out like do I have something? I definitely have something. And it's like I gotta just get the balls to get up there and try a joke that's not like my normal shit. It's about history.
Yeah.
So it's like it's about what I know, like the facts that I know about the moon landing, and then my speculation in between.
Yeah.
It's like me making shit up in between that I think probably happened. You
Right.
know what I mean? And I just been scared to do it, dude. And I just need to get up there and try. I need to do it. I want to do it on an open mic, but
just go up there with the intentions that's not going to get a laugh.
that's how I feel like I have
You
to
got
go
to.
up.
You just got to go up there and say
It's funny. Like I truly believe there's that I have something, and I'm excited. You ever get those bits where you're like you're writing it and you're like, oh, you're fucking excited to try it? Do you ever get like that?
And then it's scared to try it.
And then
I had
it's scared,
one bit
yes.
that I don't do anymore, but I talked about how like when I was single and I was dating a lot, like how I prefer black women because they take control of a date and they tell you what they want. It's
Yeah.
not all like a white girl.
It's not
like,
a guessing
I don't
game.
know, whatever you want to do. Like it's
Yeah.
like, and I did this voice where, like, I worked on a older, sassy black woman's dialect with one of my friends, you know, who knew it because, you know, he was a black guy.
Yeah.
And I was just like, man, I don't know if he was like, you've got to do it. It's so good. He was like, it's like you're towing that line, but you're not even close to it. Like, it's hard to explain. He's like, because basically, like, it's just this thing where he's like, no, okay, well, I'm not doing the voice now because now I am scared to do it because I did have one person that got offended.
Yeah.
And I was just like, nah. I was like, I'm never doing it again. But it was like just a bit about like, I was like, okay, you want to go out? Cool. Well, we're going out here. We're going to Red Lobster. It's going to be buy one, get one. I'm getting one now and for later.
Yeah.
And then we're going over here. We're going to go to Redbox.
Not scared to say what you want.
Not scared to say what you want.
Yeah.
I had that, and I was so scared to do it. And it went for like months and months. He was like, are you going to do it? I'm like, no, I'm not going to do it. He was like, you're such a pussy. Go do it. And I did it one night at open mic, and it was amazing. It was wonderful.
You used open mic, what you're supposed to use it
Yeah,
for.
and then I went and did
A lot
it
of people don't, I feel like.
that
maybe
weekend.
they do.
And the first show, it crushed. It was a really solid, and I hate saying that word. It was a really solid bit that got a lot of laughs.
Yeah.
You know?
Because then it eats shit right after you say that.
Everybody was laughing. But then the second show, I did it. And then one lady there went, boo, racist. The rest of the show was ruined. Because this one lady who identified with the character that I was talking about called it out to the show, so every white person in there felt horrible for laughing.
Oh.
And they wanted to hate me the rest of the show, too, to prove that they weren't like me.
Damn.
Who is not racist.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's one of the problems of the today. If one person gets called racist by one person, that's it. Like, that's how bad the cancel culture has gotten.
Fuck.
Like, but Chappelle's not going to be canceled. He's
I hope
racist
not.
as fuck.
I
not
hope
hatefully,
not.
but he'll say it.
Yeah,
You
it's
know?
stereotypes.
But it's comedy.
Yeah, it's comedy. If we can't pick on stereotypes, what can we pick? What the fuck is there?
I mean, let's be real. There's plenty of other things to pick on. But
Yeah. But I want to pick on you
fun.
in the audience. I want to pick on people.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I get it. But yeah, I think that was a good turnaround coming back to Chappelle.
Man, thanks for doing the podcast.
Man, thank you for having me. Thank
Let's
you for
do it
letting me
again.
fight myself.
You're great.
No, you're great.
You're great to have a
I've been
conversation.
watching. I wanted to come over and
I
chat with
appreciate you complimenting me at Dead Crow. Like when you came up and said something about you watched the podcast and you like how I see how you got this. Like your compliment it meant a lot to me.
It looks good.
It meant a lot to me because I'm like an amateur and I've tried to figure everything out myself, and that's kind of why I was like, hey, you got any suggestions? Like, should we angle these differently?
Oh, yeah.
Because we're gonna work with what we have here,
Uh-huh.
and I'm gonna invest the money when I have the money, and we'll get nicer shit, and that's cool. That's how I've always done shit. Like we'll start with this fucking Zoom thing in my kitchen. And then we'll move up from there. And I appreciate the way things sound and look now because I started with fucking nothing.
Yeah, it's nice to build and be
So I
happy with
appreciate
it.
your compliment.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like
man.
it meant a lot to me, and it's cool that you followed through and you came on. And
Yeah. Dude,
Yeah.
I think you're a good dude.
You're fucking awesome.
We are from the same dirty South.
yeah,
You
I
know?
love your comedy.
I
You
love
guys
your
go out
comedy.
and watch this comedy. You got any shows coming up? You want to Anything popping off?
November 12th, I think it is, in downtown. I don't know where.
That's cool. Look it
I'm
up.
so bad. And then
Cool.
hosting Dead Crow the 22nd and 23rd.
Oh, nice.
But
What is that for a headliner?
is for JF Harris.
Oh, nice,
He's
dude.
really funny.
That's awesome.
October 22nd,
Hosting
23rd.
Dead Crow, October 22nd and 23rd.
Dead Crow Comedy.
That's probably a Friday and a Saturday, right?
Friday and Saturday.
Cool.
Yeah, he's
well,
really
that's
funny.
fucking great.
Really funny.
That's awesome. You guys go check my man out down there, and then you got a show coming up November.
I don't remember, man. It was like
That's
November
cool.
18th or something.
So y'all follow my man on Instagram. You post some of this shit on Instagram.
Go to Facebook comedy page, Billy Raim Comedy.
Billy Raim Comedy.
That's
yeah, and you
where
got an
I
Instagram
post
too.
that. I do, but I keep it private.
Oh, okay.
For like, because I don't want people to watch my mom and dad like post multiple times on the same picture of their granddaughter.
It's
weird.
cute. That's
not.
the world today, dude.
It's not. They argue.
That's the
They do. I do a bit about it. It's they
Check
argue.
out your YouTube,
Yeah, YouTube Billy Raim,
Billy Raim.
Facebook Billy Raim Comedy, Twitch Billy Raim.
Twitch.
Every Thursday from 7 to whenever the fuck I fall asleep.
That's great. Man, thanks for coming on.
Thank you, bud.
Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up if you like it. Give us a thumbs down if you're a hater. We hate you too. Hunt for Greatness Podcast. We love you guys. Thanks for listening.
Hunt for Greatness.